hit record, buddy. You gots to hit record.
I'm good.
Yeah. You're good now.
Now I am. I hope the audio is good.
Now? No, you sound better now. So I think it'll be good.
Okay. I'm glad.
But yeah, I believe in us. We can do this. We've only been doing this 38 episodes. We should have it figured out by now.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, podcasting, it's we're becoming vets now,
Right? We know what's up. We know what's going on.
We're getting there. We are becoming pros.
We're pro bros.
A minor setback last week. One
minor setback. And honestly, it's probably the worst thing that's ever happened to us, and that's really not that big of a deal.
That's true.
It's not that bad. Anyways, hi Patreon people. If you're watching this, it's because you're on Patreon, either live at the Cantina band member or higher, or you're watching the after recording for just being a cool whatever that level is. What's the $5 level?
It's Alien, Cantina Alien.
Cantina Alien. Josh says your mic is really quiet now. Are you joking? It sounds fine to me. Like I can hear him, but maybe it's different coming through.
All right, let me turn the mic up a little bit.
Turn it up in the settings for StreamYard.
Yeah. I'm going to audio and then mic volume. Okay, testing.
That sounds better to me.
I'm on 40 now. Testing.
I don't know.
Testing. You sound normal to me. Okay. Chut.
Okay.
James, new Patreon member today, joined.
Oh, hey, what's up? Welcome to the party, pal. Yeah, we got Josh, we got Kirby, we got newcomer James. I think Josh Gill is effing with us. Okay, so we got finally all of our Patreon winners out from December. It took us a month.
I got a couple left. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, do you? No, I just did it all in one go.
So what I've been doing is, I've been taking one a day with me at work this week because I don't want to I ran out of shipping tape a while ago. And I haven't bought any more.
I see.
And so I've taken one. I work downtown, so there's a post office right near my work. So I've been taking one a day. I'll use the work tape, and then on my lunch break, I'll walk down and ship them. So they're slowly getting out, but they should all be out this week.
Okay, well, all of Zach's will be out this week. Mine went out last Saturday, so we're good if you won one of the ones I was giving away.
Look, a couple of people have already gotten some of mine, so...
Yeah?
Or at least Skywalker Hendricks did. I know that for sure.
Oh, yeah, because he posted. That's right.
Yeah. But yeah, we appreciate anything you all are willing to give. We appreciate the show support.
Absolutely.
And we want to give back.
We just want to give back. Absolutely. And we're going to do more if we hit 50. That's the next giveaway that we have planned.
We were this close
right now. We were at 49.
And then it charged people's cards.
All of January, and then a bunch of people left. And now we're down to like 42 or 43. So if those people, if some people want to come back, we'll be doing another giveaway. But it's normal whenever you have a giveaway like that. Like people will join for the giveaway.
Yeah.
And then they'll leave when they don't win. If they don't win. If you're not Dylan Justice or Casey Texas,
R.I.P.
who have won from us multiple times. I think Dylan's won every time we've done a giveaway.
It was funny because that first giveaway, he joined like the day before.
Yeah.
Or the day of or something. And you were like,
yeah.
And you were like, does this count? We're like, yeah, it's before the show. We'll let him in. Then
it's before the show. We'll let him in. And then he wins. And he's won every time he's ever entered. It's like, I don't know if he has rigged my system somehow. I mean, no offense, but I don't like Dylan that much. I barely even know him other than the fact that I've mailed him a bunch of things now.
Yeah, I'm starting to know these people's addresses by heart now.
Right?
Like, oh, he won. I know.
I've actually just got that still saved on my computer.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
it was good, but yeah, we've got another giveaway. I think we're both going to be giving away the same thing. I think is what we decided, right?
Yeah, that's what I have. I think that's the only thing I have left, actually.
Oh, I've got a couple things. I've got a bunch of things. But I figure for a 50 subscriber, we could, hey, Will Bond's here.
Yeah, I have two, but I decided I'm going to keep the 501st archive because I've been giving too many of those away, I feel like. There's one boxed up. But I need at least 4 of them because I'm going to eventually print the Jedi Temple stairs. So I need a good squad behind Anakin. So I need to stop giving them away.
What happens when they eventually do one on the new the new clone body?
Then I'll buy 4 more.
So, will you replace them or will you just have 8?
I'll probably have like my episode 3, I'll have like a couple back here and then I'll have like consistent ones on the diorama itself. So that way they're uniform.
That makes sense. Yeah, you don't want to mix and match because they'll look kind of weird.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Black Series OnlyFans topless. Okay.
I mean, I'll do it.
I mean, we've talked about this before.
Why not? Yeah. Yeah.
We can do it.
Yeah.
I don't see why not.
I'm ready for it. I honestly just don't think the people watching this are ready for it.
Yeah, it might be a little too far. I don't know. We'll see. It depends on how much money they pay us. Look, there's nothing. I'm one of those guys. There's not a lot I wouldn't do for the right price. I'll just let you know that right now. So,
when we were bored at my last job, we would play a game. Trying to figure out like what's the minimum amount of money you would take to do something. Say I had like $100 bill right here. Would you like eat not your booger, but like someone else's booger? Like here's $100 right here. Would you pop? It's perfectly clean. You don't have to know. Like it doesn't matter who it's from. You won't catch anything. It's just a booger. Like would you eat a booger? For this $100 bill,
not for $100. I'm sorry.
Not for $100. So, yeah. So
if you hand me like $300 cash, I'd think about it.
$300. That's your minimum.
$100
to think
is
about
like,
it. Yeah.
Like, fortunately, I'm at the point in my life where $100 cash just isn't enough.
It's not a big deal.
If you would have got me like when I was 14 or 15, I'm eating 10 boogers. I'm doing it, but now I'm personally a good, but $300,
yeah.
If somebody wants to buy me that Force FX Luke, saber, then I'll consider it.
No, that's such a good point. Like I feel like $100 is like one adult dollar. Like I don't even blink at $100 anymore. We go to Target, our this $100 worth of groceries right here, and whatever, it's fine. Like it's so weird.
Doesn't that suck? Like
it does suck.
You just like constantly spend money.
Oh my god! When I was a kid, $100 felt like so much money. Like, oh, I got $100 in my pocket. I could buy anything. I was an adult. I was an adult. I guess I was technically. I was at least 19, living in my parents' house still, thinking, wow, I have $140 in my bank account. I can literally go do whatever I want right now. And I think I went to the mall. I put gas in my car. This was back in the early thousands, so that was like maybe $20.
Yeah.
I bought the one of like a Dragon Ball Z movie on DVD from Suncoast, and I bought a Case Logic case for CDs so I could put CDs in my car. And I remember thinking, wow, I still have so much money left, and I think I may have had like $50 after that. And I had such a weird concept of money back then.
I remember I was probably like 8 years old. I got $100 bill for Christmas.
Ooh, you were rich.
Everybody was saying that I was such a good money saver because the next Christmas, because I was trying to save money for some reason, I was like 8, 9 years old. The next Christmas, I had 92 of that $100 left. So yeah, so when I was
Did you get
little,
another $100 bill?
I did. I got a Christmas every year until my mom and that, because my stepdad at the time was the one that got it for me, and he was like this rich guy, and they lived in Florida, and I didn't know he was rich until thinking back, about it now so he gave me $100 every Christmas that they were until they divorced, of course, but.
And when they divorced, he's like, "Fine, I don't have to give that Zach guy $100."
I'm probably the reason they aren't married now. He's spending too much money every Christmas on me.
That's right.
That $8, I guarantee. I don't remember what I bought, but I guarantee
that's a good question. Yeah.
I guarantee it was a WWE figure because they were $7.99 back then.
That's probably what it was.
It had to be a WWE figure, yeah. And then one of those years, I got. If anybody knows what the Elimination Chamber is in WWE, I think it was the Elimination Chamber. I got one of those for Christmas, and it had 4 of the corners. It had the whole set with the ring in the middle and the big cage. I was living the dream back then.
Yeah, I think for my birthday, man, I think I was in 7th or 8th grade. I got a bunch of money from. It was 8th grade. That's what it was. It was my birthday. My grandparents gave me money. My parents didn't know what to give me, so they gave me money. I think I ended up with like $140, and I went to Toys R Us, and I bought the Millennium Falcon, like the Power of the Force 2 Millennium Falcon. I'm pretty sure I bought the X-Wing. Like I remember
nice.
having a cart filled with Star Wars toys, thinking like, I'm like the coolest kid in school. Yeah.
That's
it was like
awesome.
95. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 95. It was like, it was like summer of 1996 because I was born in April, so it had to have been like April of 96. Anyways.
Yeah, buying toys as a kid is the best.
Oh, it's so different than it was now. Like,
yeah. Like, and I was so into WWE figures and wrestling when I was little too. So I had a bunch of Star Wars, a bunch of Dragon Ball. Like, I said a bunch, but like a moderate amount of Dragon Ball Z figures.
When you're a kid, having like 5 figures is a bunch.
Fair,
it is. Yeah.
Well, I did have like probably 30 Dragon Ball Z figures. So that was.
There you go.
So that was cool.
Were they the old Ertl ones that didn't really move that well?
No, they were pretty articulated. I have to remember.
They were probably Jax.
They were probably Jax. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember there was this big Broly that I had, and yeah, they were really cool. But I had a tub. The most toys I had was WWE. I had like tubs of wrestling figures. Absolutely nuts. But I had a ton of Star Wars too. But they were 3 3/4 inch, of course.
Of course, that's all there was back then.
And I would never let my kid touch a 3 3/4.
You get that garbage out of my house. You're no son of mine.
Yeah, just wait till I have a kid. I'm gonna like beat him on stream if he ever buys a 3 3/4.
No, when I have a kid, if that kid wants to buy toys, I'm going to buy them 3 3/4 inch because they're cheaper. And when they lose and break stuff, I won't care.
I almost got in a debate with someone today on Facebook because they said they left Black Series for TVC because it's cheaper. But if you think about it, $24.99 for like a Darth Vader, or $16 for a 3 3/4 Darth Vader.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like TVC, and like $21 for an exclusive Boba Fett in TVC.
Yeah,
like that's ridiculous.
Ridic.
There's no bang for your buck, I feel like, in TVC. Well, sometimes, I guess, with the big sets, but...
Yeah, the big sets are cool. Like, I'm not going to lie. We're not really going to talk about it, but that Naboo, the
N1 Starfighter...
Mandalorian N1 Starfighter, oof.
So that got you rethinking?
I'm gonna wait and see it, but that's just one of those things. Like, I almost bought the Razor Crest just to have it as a display piece,
Yeah.
Like, they're never going to make that in the 6-inch line, and it's cool just to have something that big. And then I decided I just didn't want to spend that much money on something that I don't super care about. That being said,
oh geez,
stupid HasLabs. Anyways, we'll talk about that in fine editions, I guess.
For sure.
Cool. Well, we've been going for about 15 minutes. Again, this is just that fun little Patreon intro where we have a
warm
little
up.
chat.
We gotta warm up. Yeah. Cat.
Yeah.
I see a cat.
That's my cat. That's her. We had our house cleaned today, so they were traumatized under our bed probably. And then when they moved from upstairs to downstairs to clean, I opened the door to the toy room because I was working from home all day, and they both immediately ran into the toy room and like hid as far away from possible. Yeah.
They should have dominoed all your figures.
Ugh, don't even get me started. Sometimes they do. Oh yeah, like my sequel series stuff down here is never up
It's
because
always...
this one always tries to smell them or get on the shelf. And like none of the other ones, it's specifically that one because it's in the corner. She wants to get onto that shelf.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
My dog won't walk to the basement. He's afraid of the stairs for some reason. So
Your dog's scared of the basement.
he literally is. It's weird. I don't understand. He probably sees like spirits that we can't. So I don't blame him.
Oh, have you heard about that? The Greebles, I think they call them. Like sometimes when your pet. Oh, hi.
Random.
Hi there. Yeah. Sometimes like my cats they'll stare at something like they see something. But
He'll just be like staring in the corner.
Yeah.
We're like, bro,
like, what the fuck are you looking at?
Yeah.
Stop this. Stop. You're freaking me out. Stop this.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, my dog's definitely seeing whatever demons are down here, and they're the ones that they're evil. They just knock over a toy, then makes the whole
when something
domino.
randomly falls like this. You can't see it because my microphone's in the way.
Ago. Yeah.
When we were getting set up, I had a Mandalorian just fall off the shelf. Whatever.
I had my first domino today in a while. It was the Republic security droid. It knocked over like 3 figures, and I have the little hexagon Luke stand on it, and he still
fell over. That's dedication right there.
I know. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I think we got a lot to talk about today.
We do. Good episode.
I have a lot to rant about today. And I'm gonna play a little devil's advocate today. I think.
Hey,
so,
I think I'm gonna do that as well.
So let's get a little started here, huh? Let's get a little going. So, hi there. Welcome to Black Series Cantina, episode 38. I am your host, Mike. I don't know why I'm talking like this. So
just kind of happened.
It just kind of happened. I know, as always, I have my ever-present also host. It's weird saying co-host, like host and co-host, because that sounds like I'm greater than you are, but it's like host also host, like host and host.
What if we're both like? Are we each a co-host, or are we?
Well, I think we would both be a co-host, and then. That would be the most fair thing to say.
But if you think about the Millennium Falcon, there's the pilot and the co-pilot. There's just not 2 co-pilots.
But they both pilot.
But they both pilot. So why is Chewie called the co-pilot?
Because I guess it's who's actively in charge. Would you say I'm actively in charge? It's my StreamYard account. But you have responsibilities too.
I made the show notes.
Very interesting. That's true, you did. It's a very interesting power dynamic. That's probably not the best thing to discuss 2 minutes into an episode of a podcast.
Hey, we split the Patreon earnings 50-50, all right?
That's
we
true.
are equal partners.
True. Speaking of which, we are joined on today by our Patreon supporters who are at the Cantina band member level or higher. They're hanging out with us. We got Josh Gill and Kirby Brock and the Gamer Zone 24 and James. James, I'm not going to butcher your last name, James.
LaSalle,
and Will Bond's also here. So we got a little party going on, and then the people that are also on our Patreon they watch it. They can watch this. Maybe not be here live, but the video versions are there if you want to go watch us.
Absolutely.
Because we will have a little bit of a visual presentation today as we're talking about news and things that I set up a little slideshow. So if you want to see that, again, you can go check out our Patreon, and it helps the channel out, helps the podcast out, because we don't advertise. We don't advertise because, and we've been offered. I'm not even saying we don't advertise because no one's ever offered. Like, of course you don't advertise. Nobody cares enough for you. We have been approached and we have turned it down.
And we will always turn it down.
Yeah, and we will always turn it down because
unless the bag is really heavy.
Oh man, you know
there's
what?
always a price. I said it in the Patreon intro. There's a price for everything.
That's true. There is a price for everything. There could be a time where we sell out, but today is not that day.
Correct. So, but we do have a great episode for you. Finally, we have some news and reveals to talk about.
Oh
it seems like we've had to wait a while.
It's been a while.
So yeah, good show. We're gonna eventually we're gonna get into the 10 years of the Black Series. It's the Black Series birthday. If people aren't familiar with that, we're gonna talk about some Star Wars Visions, Bad Batch later on in the show after we discuss some reveals and all that. But first, do you want to talk about how we had the live stream?
Yeah,
and then, just out of nowhere, G.I. Joe sends a left hook to the Star Wars team.
Oh, do you want to talk about that already? You want to talk about that up front?
Might as well.
You want to rip that? I just, as someone who collects both lines, I walked away from I didn't walk away. This is a figure of speech. I sat here while it ended. The fan stream, and I noticed they call it fan stream and not live stream because at 100% these are not live. These are recorded and then played. But I would give the fan stream, I guess, a little spoiler. I would have given it probably like a C minus, maybe like a C minus for me. Like it was fine. There were some things I was gonna buy, but it didn't like wow me. And then G.I. Joe, another line I collect, just comes out of nowhere. Apparently it was G.I. Joe Day, and like over the course of like 4 or 5 hours, just sucker punched Star Wars like 4 or 5 times. 4 times, I guess, because there were 4 reveals. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. I actually in the slideshow, I've got the reveal, so I want to talk about them when we get there.
Yeah, I just wanted to chat about not the actual reveals, but how G.I. Joe just like
it was crazy.
They just took over the day. It was insane.
Like even people that are Star Wars collectors that don't collect G.I. Joe, like yourself, like Lance Peter, like other people are like, these are great. Like
that was literally me. You were sending them in the chat, and I was like, I was like, how much does this retail for? Look at all the accessories.
I was actively excited by these reveals. No fan stream. Lenny and Emily, they were not. There was no talking, even though I love them, would love to see them talk about it. There was nothing. But without a fan stream, I was tickled. I'm so excited for these 4 reveals. And Star Wars, it actually lessened my excitement for Star Wars because I only have so much excitement that I can give it. Like I have a finite amount of excitement in a day that I can give something. And I'm still looking forward to the Star Wars stuff, but woo, those Joes.
Yeah, they really took over the day for sure. And we're going to get into our we'll do our overall thoughts of the live stream.
Yeah, we will.
And then we'll do the specific reveals. But first, you ready for some fine additions this week?
Yeah.
What do you got for us, Mike?
I have a quick update real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
James's last name is pronounced Lakai.
Lakai. Oh, like Lagai.
Like Lagai, but with a C.
Lakai. Okay. That's I thought it was LaSalle for a second. I feel like that's a good guess, personally.
It's not very French of you.
True. Well, I don't know. Who knows if he's even French?
I don't know either. So, yeah, I've got things. I don't have anything Star Wars. Like, nothing Star Wars. But,
boo.
Well,
get off the podcast.
I have well, it's not my fault that nothing I've pre-ordered has come out yet. But, I did just before we started recording, I got this Transformer. His name is Tarn. I'm looking forward to him. He's like one of the only things that survived my purge of pre-orders.
Mm-hmm.
So
wait, did that thing have a box without a plastic cover?
Oh no,
and it's just
Transformers.
Kind of how the Fortnite figures were.
Yeah. So I actually touched the toy, in here. This is the toy. Yeah. So you can still see it. You just can't. I don't know.
Is it pretty secure though?
Well, so they've had issues where people go around and like pop off the heads or push them down depending on the toy.
I remember there was the LeBron James figures for the movie he did. The people were like coloring his eyes red or scratching his eyes out or something.
They were stealing them. They were stealing his heads. Yeah.
And I saw pictures of like they scratched the eyes out of figures like that. It's like, come on, really?
People are kind of dumb sometimes. But then so this is tangentially related to Star Wars. I did get the HasLab Sky Striker. I have not opened it yet because I'm going to open it on a live stream on my channel on Saturday. So if you follow me on my channel, by the time you listen to this, unless you're listening to it live right now or in the playback in the next day or two, this is not going to mean anything. It's not going to give you a heads up for when I do this. But if you follow me on my channel, you'll probably get the notification that I'm going to pop this bad boy open. I'm kind of excited about it, but all I see, I
already know,
is the Rancor I don't have. Because knowing that I have this Sky Striker here when the Rancor was like a day before this means that I would probably most likely have had a Rancor right now. Had it funded.
Think about it. This moment right now,
yes,
we would have been fine editioning
a Rancor 100%.
Like this and moving his arm.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
there's some
we're not
multiverse version of us that's playing with a Rancor right now, and I'm jealous.
I'm so jealous of that multiverse person.
What if we go to the multiverse, kill those versions of us, and then just steal them and bring them back? I guess we don't got to kill them. Technically, we can just steal
getting a little. Well, you get a little Rick and Morty there for me there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, that's all I've got.
All right.
I don't have much. Yeah.
I have. I'll put the team on my back per se, and I'll carry the fine edition segment this week, if you will.
Please do.
I want to start it with this. Look at what Lane Speeder Luke did. Hopefully you'll be able to pick it up on the camera. But he vastly improved my Ned B.
Oh wow! Hold on, let me make you big here.
Oh yeah, perfect. There we go.
Whoop.
A vast improvement of Ned B. You can actually go watch his YouTube video where he does a tutorial on how to weather and make your Ned B look a little more realistic. Because he does come a little too yellow and a little too bright for how like the world of Star Wars is, but Luke has a great tutorial on how to make him look used and bring out that nice metallic midsection and just make him look all beat up. So appreciate it, Luke.
I actually have an extra Ned B.
Yeah, I was going to ask. I remember you bought a second one.
Yeah, I bought the paints and stuff to do it. I just haven't done it yet. So one day I will.
Yeah, one day. I'll start up with. I did get the, what is it, Veal's Toy Store? Is that correct? The knockoff Apo?
Yeah. Nice.
And look how beautiful this thing is.
He's gorgeous. I love him.
He is so good. And they actually used the helmet that they should have used on Jesse. Spoilers.
We'll talk about that later.
Later on.
Yeah.
But this thing is amazing. I cannot believe this is only like 20-something shipped or whatever.
Yeah.
From a KO. This does not feel or look like a KO at all. My only complaint would be probably can't pick it up on camera, but the middle blue stripe is a little off-centered, so there's a little white coming from the front of his mask, but it's really not a big deal at certain angles. But yeah, once you get this dude in a good pose, like he just fits on the shelf so perfectly. I would recommend everybody pick it up because Hasbro is probably not going to do it, and if Hasbro does ever end up doing it, you should buy the official too. But I would definitely recommend that. I did pick up from Mercari. So I did 3D print and I'll talk about this more whenever we do that in the slideshow here in a second. But I did pick up a extra Remnant Trooper because I only had one and I feel like I needed another. And I found a deal this guy on Mercari had a bunch of figures listed. So I made him an offer for 2 of his things bundled together. $45 shipped for both of these. The 501st Archive and the loose Remnant Trooper. Both loose, of course, but the Remnant Trooper and 501st Archive. $45 shipped for both of these. I feel like that's an insane steal. Especially since now, the 501st Archive, it's kind of hard to find him for around that retail price of like $22.99 or $25.
Yeah, sure.
And then especially the Remnant Trooper, he's gone up. Like, you can barely find him for under $35 now. So that was an instant pickup. I do have a couple more. I got another Hoth Rebel Trooper for $15 from my local comic shop. I only had one of these before. So
oh, wow.
I know, yeah. So I'm finally excited to, get the custom face, or the alternate face look. I picked up another Clone Wars Darth Maul sealed.
Another?
Well, I didn't necessarily pick it up, but I forgot to cancel my Entertainment Earth pre-order. So I just have an extra one now. So that's cool. And I did pick up a used, very beat up, see the back packaging, just like super shredded, Archive Emperor Palpatine for $12 shipped on Amazon. So that's like, you just can't beat that at all. There's just no way. So I'm planning on putting the lightning hands in one of the alternate heads from that throne pack, using that. And then moving on to a 3D print. Got the Gonk droid, fully printed, glued together. Got some paint on it, made it look all beat up. I tried to give it some variation colors here on the front. Try to see, maybe that'll focus. I did kind of miss some silver paint here.
Oh, you missed garbage. It's just garbage now. Sorry.
I know. You see that, like the silver in between the 2 greens? Crap. It's not focusing. It focused for a second. But, anyways.
Put your hand behind it.
A little bit of silver got on the back of it. There we go. Yeah.
I see that. Yeah.
A little, but screw it. You can't really see it from far away. But now if you'll pull up the slideshow you put together there.
Yeah, I could do that.
For my fine creations. Look at that. That's the...
Oh, is that a new segment we're doing? Fine creations?
Yeah, that's my fine creations here. This is... I need to print another chair, but this is for audio listeners. I 3D printed the client's office, and all of these I'm going to talk about. You can go on my Instagram page and check out. And I printed those little greebles that sit on his desk and try to put some paint on them, make them look like real worldy. So that picture there is why I bought a second Remnant Trooper to have on each side of him, because I feel like I couldn't have just one in the background. And I did my best trying to dry brush some brown and make it look a little dirty and used. I would like to eventually maybe make the top of it like a gloss look, because I know in the show his desk is kind of glossy.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
In my head memory, I just feel like he wouldn't have a super clean desk with how the Empire is, during his days and this point in the show. So yeah, you can move on to the next one. I forgot what order we have. Oh yeah, I did 3D print some Dark Trooper hubs from Lance Peter Luke, of course. And yeah, so I'm excited to have these. These actually didn't take too long but it is tricky getting them to stand together and trying to super glue them, because you just got to super glue like one side, and then the middle one is actually just standing there. They kind of clasp together, sort of. Mm-hmm. And then I used red vinyl, like sticky red vinyl, for those little windows.
Oh, for the stripes? Yeah, they look good.
Because it's like empty there, so you just put the shiny red vinyl there. So that's one of my recent 3D prints. And then the big one I've been working on, finally finished this. I think I need to hit it with some more matte spray. But this is like the reason I got into 3D printing. This and the Darth Vader operating table. Like, I am cooking with gas now on 3D printing. Now that I got this, the the Bespin Dual set from Lance Peter Luke. Just super thrilled with this. I have the Hot Toys version, and this is like just as good almost. And I haven't printed the top part of that bar yet. If you go to the next picture, we can see some figures on it. So this is just like gonna like already probably the best thing in my collection now as a display piece. I would recommend anybody, if you're getting into 3D printing, like it's easy, like it really is. The hardest part's just building the printer, and depending on which printer you buy, it takes 2 minutes to put together, and then the one I did just took like 2.5 hours. But anybody can do this with like, you know, a couple clicks of their keyboard and all that. So it's really like not as hard as it seems. So if anybody wants to get into it or is thinking about getting into it, just like DM me on Instagram and I'll help you out and encourage you or whatever. Mike, you gonna find space for a 3D printer?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not.
I know.
I want to, but I'm probably not going to.
Yeah, I know. Whenever we brought Lance to Luke on that first time, it was you that was wanting to dive into 3D printing, and then you, I guess, kind of backed off, and then I was like,
yeah.
I just like couldn't not do it anymore.
Yeah.
You know, especially with opening up a wall for space. You
Sure.
know? So
yeah, it interests me, and you know, on some level, the answer is absolutely I want to. I just don't see it realistically happening anytime in the next year or two. So, but we'll see. You never know. Things change. You know. My wife and I went to Costco on Sunday just to look around, and we ended up buying a couch. So, you know, things just happen. You don't
things
plan
happen.
on it. Yeah. Things happen.
Yeah, but I would recommend anybody who's thinking about it, you know, buy a decent printer, and then just dive in and you'll be fine. Like it's literally that simple. It's literally that simple to print stuff. And there's a little bit of knowledge you have to have, but it's all just like research and then hoping your printer doesn't mess up. Which, fingers crossed, you know, I'm good. I'm good right now.
You could be adjusting.
Yeah, I feel bad. Luckily, he seems like he's
back. He's back.
He's back on the good side, but
it took him like a solid month of trying things out
I know, it was hard to watch. I felt bad. I'm like,
honestly, I would have like just bought a new one at that point.
Yeah, he said he was. Me and him were kind of texting like individually, and he's like, "Man, I think I'm just done." He's like, "I think I'm just done and buying new." And I even told him like, "Look, this is one I'm thinking of upgrading to. If you do buy a new one, get this one because the hardest part is leveling the bed. Yeah, like that's like pretty tricky. So I'm gonna upgrade to one eventually with an auto leveling bed, and then one that you don't have to put together, like build, which that was kind of, it was easy once you find a good YouTube guide, but right. it is like something you have to commit 2.5 hours to.
Yeah. Wilbon says that he doesn't know what it is about Costco, but he'll go for a few things and end up spending like $250 every time. So that's what's going to happen to me, by the way. I'm going to walk in. So they're going to have some 3D printer, like a good deal. I'm going to see it and I'm going to go, okay, that's what I'm going to do right there. That's what's going to happen.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right.
James says, bring back the Hall of Lame segment. So actually that's kind of taking a pause because I was going to make a graphic or have our design guy make a graphic. But unfortunately he's been having some health issues and, so I was going to get what we have done and then make a graphic of it and then keep adding more. So we'll see. I have figures in mind for those.
Too. Yep.
So we can do a Hall of Lame right now.
It'll come back.
Yeah, it'll come back.
You want to do a Hall of Lame? What's your Hall of Lame?
See, I forgot what we did last time. I'd have to go look. I don't want to say the same thing. Was it IG-88 that we did, or was it?
Mine's gonna be this guy. The stupid Mandalorian loyalist. I hate that mold. That stupid Jango Fett mold. It doesn't stand. It is literally terrible. It's only popular because they were hard to get and people love Mandalorians and we didn't really have any at the time. But it's based on a terrible mold. They don't like to stand up. They don't have great articulation. You really can't put them in a good pose. Stupid Mandalorian loyalist. That's my Hall of Lame.
All right, that'll be our Hall of Lame figure. You know it's going to be our Hall of Lame, or what my entry for Hall of Lame is going to be? YouTubers who say... You already know where I'm going with this, don't you?
I know where you're going.
YouTubers who say, Oh my gosh, I wish figures were on the shelves like they were whenever I was little. I wish I could go into Toys R Us and just see stacks of Star Wars figures on the shelf. And then they go into Target and they see a bunch of Imperial Shore Troopers and they're like, oh my gosh, why is this stuff clogging the pegs? Why isn't anybody buying this? Why is this stuff peg warming? It's called being stocked. The stuff is relatively new. It doesn't have to sell out overnight. It's way better than each store getting one of each figure and then not having any others. And I know, Mike, you tweeted about this simultaneously when I sent the text about it.
Yep.
It's just annoying. Like, you can't say you want the good old days where there's stacks and stacks and like boxes, like bins of figures everywhere, and then complain about figures being everywhere when you walk into the Target and saying the line is dying.
Well, I think
you just can't have it both ways like that.
I will give some people the benefit of the doubt that they're not really seeing things in perspective because they go and see a full, peg and it's all the same figure. So that all what they think in their brain, years of conditioning is telling them peg warmer. Mm-hmm. But since it's an exclusive figure, they get shipped in solid cases. So it's not like, oh, that's, cases that have been sold and those are leftover figures. They've gotten cases of just those figures. So it's not the same. And you can't look at a shelf full of, like, for instance, Shore Trooper or like the Boba Fett at Target, the 40th anniversary Boba Fett, and be like, nobody's buying these. Look at all of them sitting here. Like, no, no, it's not the same thing. People are buying them online instead of buying them in store. They get cases of them that are solidly packed. Like, it's not the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
General Lando was the exception. That one was packed to case, and that legitimately was a peg warmer left over from multiple boxes. So that is what they think it is. Whereas, like
and that's on Hasbro for double packing it.
100%, yeah.
Because Hasbro probably knows, we're probably going to sell less of these on Pulse, so let's sell more of them to Walmart and more of them to Target, more of them to
Absolutely. Yeah.
And they don't, and like stores like that don't have an option. They got to buy the case with the cool figures in it.
They got to buy the case.
They got to get stuck with. That's why I kind of feel bad for like Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth and like Dorkside, for that example. Like, as consumers, we try to get the best deal possible. But come on, we gotta buy these figures from these small places because if we're leaving them with the peg warmers, they're just losing like a ton of money on those ones.
Oh, for sure. And there's not a lot of margin in those in the first place. If like Entertainment Earth or whatever, when Dorkside was selling them for like $10 figures, they're legitimately losing like $8 per figure.
A figure. Yeah. Did we find out recently that Hasbro sells to Walmart or stores for like $18 something?
Yeah, their cost is like $18 for a figure. Yeah, so they have maybe $6 of wiggle room for how much money they make, and that's why Big Bad Toy Store always sells them for like $1 more, or GameStop sells them for like $2 or $3 more, and that's why, because they want more margin, they want more money, because they're a business.
Yeah. So really, Hasbro's prices are not too bad if we think about it. It's the retail margin that, I don't blame those retailers for wanting that margin. If I were the retailer, I would probably
that's
do
why
the
they
same
do
thing,
it. That's why they do it. Absolutely.
But you want to jump into, speaking of Big Bad Toy Store?
Sure. Speaking of it, in stock, you can go to Big Bad Toy Store right now.
As we speak
right now. And maybe even as you listen, which is a couple days later, you could get Wicket for like $26 instead of $25. And I'm not buying him for $26, but you can if you want to.
I have to look myself in the mirror and have a deep conversation with myself, because I am the same guy, and I'm going to admit this. That was it last week or the episode before? I can't remember, but I came on this podcast and said, I'm not paying $35 for that Spider-Man. But I turned around, and I'm a psycho. I know. Why did I do this? I turned around yesterday. I purchased Wicket and the Scout Trooper from Big Bad Toy Store, which made my total almost $60 for those two. So I'm looking at myself like,
after shipping, right?
Yeah, because you got to do the $4 shipping. And I don't have anything in the pile of loot right now, so I was like, just ship them both. And I was looking at like, this is going to be a $30 damn Wicket, essentially. So I just I willingly and happily paid $30 for a Wicket, which is a figure that's going to be literally...
He's tiny.
He's going to be way smaller than the T-Bow we got. And that's, he's like half a figure. So for
it's
a figure
it's
this
legitimately
big...
a fourth of a figure. It's a fourth of a figure. Yeah.
For a fourth of a figure... And some, I mean, it comes with like the bow and like some cool accessories, but we have some of those accessories already. But why am I psycho like this? That I was happy to pay $30 for a Wicket, but I look at that Spider-Man and I'm just like, $5 extra. I can't do it right now.
Hold on, were you happy to pay it or did you begrudgingly pay it?
Oh, I happily paid it. I was I was like, Wicket in stock immediately. I'm gonna regret it in 2 months when it's like, $23.99 on Amazon or something. But I was like, I need the Wicket. Maybe it's because I've always wanted the character, the paint on it. He's got some dry brushing. He looks really good. Yeah. But I was really excited for that Spider-Man too. So I'm just crazy. But maybe it's just like the Star Wars love and the love for Wicket and always wanting a Wicket. But I need therapy, people. I need therapy about this. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm not going to buy Wicket. I'm not going to buy him from Big Bad Toy Store for slightly more and then also pay to ship him. I might have if I had stuff in my pile of loot already, but my pile of loot is currently empty. So, and I didn't want to buy him and then wait to buy more stuff from Big Bad Toy Store. So I'm just being okay with not getting him right now and waiting. I think I have my pre-order through... I'm pretty sure I have it through Hasbro Pulse. So I'm just gonna wait. But also on that same vein, the Mike, the Dr. Aphra and the Mara Jade, Nate got his in his pile of loot from Big Bad Toy Store as well. So they're not in stock right now, but they have started getting them in and shipping them out to people who have already pre-ordered them.
Yeah.
So who knows? Next episode, we might have some new figures by then.
Yeah,
we'll find out. Yeah,
I'm hoping. I know my Wicket and Scout Trooper will be here, and I only bought the Scout Trooper. I was gonna eventually get it, but I didn't have it. Well, actually, I lied. I did have it pre-ordered through Entertainment Earth, both of them. But I bought the Scout Trooper, so I specifically didn't have to pay only $30 for the Wicket. I had to.
You just bought it to make yourself feel better about spending that much money.
Yeah, because then it divides the shipping costs, to $2 per figure, which is a little easier to swallow, So I just had to do it, So
sure.
I'm crazy like that, but
whatever you got to. Hey, man, it's your money. It's your money. You spend it how you want. I'm not gonna get mad at you for how you spend your money. So I wouldn't have done it, and I didn't do it, but you do it. You do you.
So now, as we speak, I'm just gonna go bite the bullet and pre-order that.
You're gonna get that Spider-Man?
I'm gonna go pre-order that Spider-Man.
I think I'm pretty much done pre-ordering things. It was something I willingly and rabidly did back in the day, because if you didn't pre-order it, there wasn't a guarantee that you get it. But I feel like those days are gone. Like in 2022, there really wasn't any figure that if you didn't pre-order, you just flat out missed. Yeah. There were some that got close, like the Umbra Trooper, but that eventually came back in stock. And the Braca Cad Bane, that eventually came back in stock. There was not a figure that if you didn't pre-order it, you missed it. Yeah. So I think since that's the case, I might be done pre-ordering. I don't know.
Yeah, I literally, the amount of stuff I have on pre-order is super slim now that I canceled Wicket and the Scout Trooper. I haven't pre-ordered the green, Fixer. Haven't pre-ordered him. I just I haven't pre-ordered anything really other than the... You
didn't pre-order Scorch?
I didn't. Is that the...
That's I forget their names.
The
third...
Squad,
Delta Squad?
the third and fourth one I haven't pre-ordered yet.
Yeah.
And I still don't even have the third one. I'm gonna find it in store, and I saw it in store, the green one.
You're gonna wait for him to go on sale,
and $27.99 felt high because I've already bought the body twice. Now I'm eventually gonna get it, but at that moment I was just like, nah, $28 right now.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling it right now. So
I remember when the line was just coming out and they had started repainting the Phase 1 clone trooper in different colors like Sergeant and stuff. And I remember I posted on Instagram, like, now I have the green one, really cool, buying the same figure 4 times, you know. And now it's not even like, I don't even care. But I remember thinking it was such a big deal to buying the same character like 5 times back then. Yeah.
You know what's funny? I had, because obviously I started the line as Wave 2 was coming out. So whenever those like clone molds, when I had like all the colors up until when I stopped collecting, and then I sold all of those. And then now I don't have a single one of the striped Phase 1s, like the colored Phase 1s. I only have the blank Phase 1s, because even whenever they re-released the dark blue one in the new packaging, the Galaxy line.
That wasn't a re-release. That was the first time they did it.
That's right. Because I didn't have any of the other ones, and I know that the old ones are more, like, they're just like a lot more expensive now. I was like, if I get that blue one from Walgreens, and I saw it at Walgreens, so if I get this one, I'm going to need to get all the other ones.
You're going to want to get them,
And I'm not going down that rabbit hole. I'm fine with my blank. I don't, personally, I love the Phase 2 clones a lot more than the Phase 1.
Me too.
That's just we only saw them for like 2 seconds, and so I'm not in Attack of the Clones, so I'm not like as nostalgic for those as I am for the Phase 2
I also don't love the shape of the helmet and the head fin. I'm just, even when it was a new cool thing, like, I still didn't love it back then. I was very excited when Revenge of the Sith, you know, I'm watching it and going, oh, the clone troopers look more like stormtroopers now. That's awesome. I remember thinking that, you know. So, yeah.
And like, just like space in general. You know, like, where am I going to put all? But now I have like this wall I could, but I was just like,
that's
I'm
your
good.
3D printing wall.
Exactly. Like, yeah, I think I'm good with just the blank Phase 1s, and then I'll build the Phase 2. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need them.
Yeah, that's a rabbit hole I didn't go back into, and I was getting back into the line. So
yeah,
GamerZone says Phase 1 helmet has grown on me, and I do like it. I like the look. But I much prefer the Phase 2.
It's just, I don't love it. It's all, you know.
Yeah, and I don't want to go back and spend a ton of money on like 4 or 5 Phase 1 molds, you know, with different colors. Especially because of the older
molds and stuff.
Yeah. So that's a rabbit hole I'm not getting down.
Yeah.
Anytime soon, anyways. If I get bored, you know, and see a good deal, who knows? But we'll see. Is it time?
It's time. Let's talk about what happened to us yesterday.
Do you want to give your overall thoughts first before we jump into the specifics?
I think I pretty much did when we talked about the G.I. Joe thing earlier. Like,
well, keep it with just like the stream reactions, like pre G.I. Joe reveals.
Pre G.I. Joe, yeah. It's always fun to see new stuff. It's nice, especially when it's stuff that we've had pipelined, although knowing it's coming does lessen it. But I was talking with Dan yesterday while it was going on, and it makes sense they're pipelining stuff because they're probably mad that the leaks kind of steal their thunder. You know, then when they show up overseas or whatever, if they haven't announced it yet,
I guarantee that they were sitting in their meeting. They're like, this yak face guy is really pissing us off. Let's create this pipeline.
You know, so the same thing, because Transformers had a live stream the day before, and they started doing pipeline reveals too. And there's a prolific streamer or YouTuber called Prime versus Prime, who has straight up reviewed samples he's gotten from overseas, like on his channel before they've even announced them in store. Like, he has these
Hasbro.
Exactly. like there's some big hitters, like, we had no idea it was coming, and boom, suddenly on his channel, like, here's a full review for in hand that he has, so it's like it's crazy. So the pipelines, I think, kind of steal a little bit of that thunder back, if you will. But it does also take a little bit of away from that excitement of seeing something new, but it still is different knowing something's coming out and seeing it with your eyeballs. And I did get excited with some of these reveals. My initial reaction to most of these reveals was excitement. For sure.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Overall for me, and I think, and I've mentioned this on the show before, that I like the pipelines, but if I were in charge of it, I wouldn't pipeline anything personally. I would say, whatever leaks. Let's try to tighten that up. But because they have this inherent thing where like they're doing a couple figures now, and then they're pipelining like anywhere from 2 to 4 at the end.
Yeah.
But think about it: if they didn't do any pipelines, they could physically reveal just 4 more or like 2 more like physical characters.
You don't know. You don't know that.
You know?
You don't know that. You don't know if it's a zero-sum system and they only have so many reveals and they're taking up spots to pipeline things. It could just be extra.
I think they just like balance it out, like in advance.
And I don't think the pipeline's taking anything away from the reveals. It's not like yesterday, because they revealed 4 figures yesterday. I think I don't think if we didn't have the 2 pipelines, we would have gotten 6 reveals. I think they revealed what they had to reveal, and it would have been the same regardless.
I think they could have. I think they definitely held back what they have already pipelined. Like there's a lot. Sure. There's a lot in the pipeline that I was hoping we would see. Like that black chrysanthemum. Yeah. I feel like if they didn't do like those pipelines, we could have gotten 1 or 2 more like physical reveals. Because we have a ton.
I don't agree. I
feel like we have. I feel like we have a ton in the pipeline that we haven't seen, and they pipelined 2 more, and we have just a lot more we haven't seen.
In fact, I saw someone if it was on Facebook or Reddit, they were like, "How many pipelines are we up to now?" And my response was, "Well, they revealed 2 figures from the pipeline, and then they pipelined 2 more. So we're at the same amount of pipeline figures that we were at like the day before. Like we netted 0. Yeah. There was no gains, no losses. They got rid of 2, they added 2. It's the same. But yeah, there are some pipelines I would have rather have seen than some of them, but eventually I want to see all of them, so it doesn't really matter. But I think the fan stream would have been better had we had 1 or 2 more reveals. I think it felt overall lackluster. Like, not awful. It wasn't the worst stream I've seen from them, but it definitely could have been more exciting.
Yeah, they held a lot back, for sure. But
Patrick wasn't on it, so Yeah,
I think the team flows a little better when he's not on there. Yeah. I think I realized what the difference is in like the Star Wars and the Marvel Legends team. Like the Marvel Legends team, they're just like some bros that get along and they talk about the toys and stuff, but it feels so corporate whenever the Star Wars people are on there.
It feels very corporate with Star Wars when they talk about entertainment and all that stuff. Where you don't really hear that with Marvel. They don't go, "Oh yeah, with the Ant-Man entertainment." Like that jargon doesn't come out of their mouths. They say things like movie.
They're like show. Dudes talking about the product and talking about the shows they come from.
And I really do wonder how much of that is coming from like Lucasfilm. Like if there's guidelines Lucasfilm has set to say, like, because even though they're all Hasbro and even though Disney owns Marvel and Star Wars, Lucasfilm and Marvel are run as separate companies. Like Disney doesn't run them the same way.
Yeah. So I also feel like the Star Wars team probably feels a little more like we have to be buttoned up and on our dot our I's, cross our T's because of how reactionary the Star Wars toy collecting community is.
I think that's also part of it for sure.
Because Marvel Legends, their streams are relaxed and they just have fun. Yeah. They have a good time and they reveal stuff. But Star Wars is like, okay, and first we're going to do the 40th of this, and we're going to do the 20th of this, and then now we have a segment for TVC, and we have a segment for yada, 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 and it's just all like blocked out and professional, you know?
Yeah.
That's just the vibe I get.
No, I definitely agree with that. They definitely have a vibe that feels a lot like they've got a stick up their butt. Like, put a stick out. Just pull it out. Poop it out if you want. I don't care. Just loosen up a little bit. But let's get into the reveals.
Yeah, but real quick, I've said it before. Like, I would rather do away with pipeline and then just like reveal them like as they come. You know.
I go both ways. I see both sides. I like knowing what's coming up, and I like getting my information from like Hasbro and not like some random, rumor thing. I like having definitive information.
Yeah.
But I'm also the guy that goes into movies and stuff knowing what's going to happen. Like, I spoil stuff for myself all the time because I'm less anxious. Like, I've not seen a Star Wars movie in theater where I didn't go look up all the spoilers for it. Same with pretty much
crazy. That's
every
crazy,
Marvel. Like, well, when the prequels came out, I'd read the novelizations for them because the novels came out before the movies. So, like, I didn't go into the Phantom Menace not knowing, Qui-Gon Jinn was going to die. Mostly because I also listened to the soundtrack, and
I mean the soundtrack
that was a title. but yeah, I'd also read the novelization and stuff. So.
Yeah, and I'm like the opposite. I want it to I'm sitting there, bam, a Yak Face notification, completely out of nowhere. Super Battle Droid on the way. Start freaking out, Well, we still get stuff like that sometimes. Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
It's a good mix. It's a good mix.
It's a good mix. But let's get into the reveals. So the first thing they showed off, I was initially very excited for. Then my excitement waned a little bit. And I'm honestly even thinking about maybe not getting it, but that is the Revenge of the Jedi, Darth Vader.
Can we just can we have our flowers now? Because we called this.
We did call
whenever they announced the 40th anniversary. We said that we would love like a con exclusive, like Revenge of the Jedi carded, I think we said Luke or something, but really any character.
I'm cool with Vader. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know this isn't like Revenge of the Jedi carded. It's more of a box with a slipcover. This is super cool too. Yeah, this is cool too.
It would have been really cool if it was carded. It would have been no question for me if it was carded. But I kind of like that it's not carded because if I do end up getting it, and this is a Star Wars Convention London or Europe exclusive, which means that we'll probably end up being able to get it here, but it'll be like that. It'll be on Hasbro Pulse.
It'll be Pulse,
or whatever, yeah. But it's in a box. There's a poster in it, which is pretty cool. And the back of the box is like a little stand you pull out, so you have like a little display, which is it's neat. I guess it's a neat concept if you like that. I think the Revenge of the Jedi poster is pretty rad.
It's probably one of the best Star Wars posters.
Agreed. And it's funny that they changed the title and then just sort of reused it for Revenge of the Sith because it makes more sense. Sith get revenge. That's their whole deal. Yeah. But so it's a Vader that's supposed to be it's supposed to be reminiscent of that poster, but I mean, fine. They just sort of put like red lines on it, I guess.
Yeah, it's like dyed red everywhere. Then they got these like bright red, random, like it almost looks like streaks of paint almost. Yeah, which is a little like veiny and odd. I don't know how I feel about the red on it, but I mean I'm in on it. I'm gonna get it.
I'm gonna end up getting it because I always joke about having the Vaders like a Power Ranger Vader team because we have a blue one now. We got the black one. I have the white one. So now I've got a red one. I just need like a yellow one or something, and I'll have like a whole Power Rangers team of Darth
Mike,
Vaders.
Please don't give Hasbro any ideas. Stop mentioning Vader colors.
But first of all, the pictures, if you see them online, we're showing them. We're looking at them right now. So again, if you want to see them while we're looking at them, you can join our Patreon. But these were taken by Matt, the Shooting the Galaxy. They all got good poses. But my initial reaction when they showed this was I was thinking, oh, is this the new Vader that they pipelined? Like, because
I was hoping it would be.
when Empire Strikes Back came out, I'm pretty sure we saw the carbonized version before we saw the regular version. I'm pretty sure. But they just didn't mention that it was a new one until they revealed the regular one. But we're supposed to be getting a new Vader mold, or at least partial new mold with the removable helmet.
That's what I wanted to see on the stream. But then as soon as they did the TVC one, I was like, no, they're not going to do the Black Series
They're
one.
not going to do the Black Series one on the stream. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they would have showed them off together, I feel like. So TVC is getting another new Vader this year, or recently, within almost back-to-back new Vaders that look great. And we're getting what looks to be a reissue of maybe Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, it looks
Vader.
like the Empire one. So at least they used the good one, or the great one. So I mean, it's neat.
It's neat. Yeah, he comes with a lightsaber. He comes packaged. He's got his cape. He's got red all over him. That's pretty much it. There's not a lot going on there.
Yeah,
he's just Darth Vader.
This is going to be one that I, obviously keep in the box. I'm mostly. This is one of those things where I'm literally buying it because the display piece that it is.
Yeah,
I'm not buying this. I'm not buying this for the figure at all. I'm buying it because it contains a figure, but I'm going to keep that slip cover in there and just have it on the shelf.
For sure. And if I end up getting it, I'll be doing the same. It really depends on how much it costs. We don't know. I'm guessing probably 35, same as the...
Yeah, I bet it would be. It'll probably be like $36.99 or something, $35.99 in that range. Yeah. If they hit with a 40, then I'm probably not doing it.
Yeah, there's a chance I won't buy it, but I'm leaning towards getting it. But
yeah, I think I'm in on it as long as it's in that mid-30s price range. Max.
I just wish I wish they would just give us a brand new head-to-toe Vader. That's a little bit better. I don't know.
The new one is going to be. Did they announce that it's going to be head to toe? Or is that just?
I don't know if it's head to toe or just partial. But like I want because they've been reusing those Vader legs since I'm pretty sure the original one back in 2014. Like I want pinless Vader legs. I want a more newer.
Yeah, we need a modern lower half for Vader, and we need a modern underneath the helmet.
Exactly. Also, I know this isn't the Return of the Jedi because he doesn't have the chain. Return of the Jedi Vader has that little chain.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Cool. Well, moving on to the next reveal. We got the Rebel Commando. What do you think?
The deluxe Rebel Commando.
The deluxe Rebel Commando. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. We knew this was going to be deluxe when they pipelined it.
They pipelined it. It's a deluxe.
If anyone was surprised by this being a deluxe, it's because they're not paying attention to reveals.
Yeah.
Yeah. When they announced this in the pipeline back at, I think it was at Comic-Con in San Diego. So like about last July.
We've known about this
or
for
August.
A while.
That was August. I'm pretty sure because I was putting up my TV on my wall. I remember listening to the live stream while I was running cables. So it's been 5 months that we've known this was coming out, and we've known it was going to be deluxe.
And whenever they mentioned deluxe, I was like,
yeah,
I feel like because whenever you look at this in the package, to me this doesn't scream deluxe. You know what I mean? I feel like. For that deluxe price, assuming it's going to be $33.99, right? Is that?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I feel like that price might be a little high for what we're getting. I feel like it could have come with a couple extra things for that price point.
I feel like this is more deserving of the deluxe moniker and price point than like Boba Fett.
The Return of the Jedi one, or the
maybe not the Return of the Jedi one, but like the Mando
Yeah, those ones. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Or even the Cobb Vanth, where they took the helmet off and put it on there to make it look like he's got more accessories. And the whole reasoning with say the Cobb Vanth is the paint. And if that flies there, it's the same here because this does have, and a lot of people are comparing this to like the Hoth Rebel Soldier. This has more parts and more paint than the Hoth Rebel Soldier does. Like it comes with this, probably the same amount of accessories, but there's more to this than there is with the Hoth Rebel Soldier.
Yeah, like the sad thing is though, just like if you like looking at this packaging, like are we really at the point in the Black Series where like that specific paint on the pants is what makes it an $8 difference? You know what I mean?
It
like
could
that,
be, yeah.
Because we've already gotten a figure with an alternate face, and we've already that Hoth Trooper came with 2 blasters. I know neither of them are, that one and this one is unpainted. This one comes with the pretty plain brown backpack. With it does have some tubes coming out on the side. If you when you scroll to another picture, we might be able to see those. But like, are we really at the point where like pants that are colored like this is going to make an $8 difference? I would feel more comfortable with this if it were like, I feel like $27.99 or like maybe even like $29.99, but I feel like $33.99 is just like a little, that's $8 over like mainline retail. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, so they did this with Gree back in the day. Like, well, he's got a lot of paint on him, so we have to raise the price on him. You know?
Yeah, at least he has like helmet and armor all over his body. This is just the dude's pants, you know?
It's mostly just the pants. But he also, he's got a jacket. He's got that little bandolier piece. He's got an extra belt piece. Like, he's got more pieces to him than, like, say, the Hoth Rebel Soldier does. Like, there's more, and which we learned at the live stream. That means they have to have more people putting him together, which ups the production cost and stuff like that. I'm not saying I want to pay deluxe price for him. I'm just saying I understand their reasoning why based on what we've seen. But no, I would much rather just pay $25 for this guy. That being said, I'm buying 2 of these.
Yeah, so like I understand why like Hasbro is saying like, oh, this is, I guess like this is now a deluxe. But I don't think they've announced the exact price point for it.
They haven't. They haven't.
So this could be like, maybe they'll lower the price on this one. But if it's going to be that $33.99, if you or whatever, $32.99, $33.99. I feel like that's high for what we're getting, because I was thinking a little more of like whenever they first announced it, I was thinking of like one of those Mandalorian build-up packs. You know,
sure.
Where for $36 you get a Mandalorian. Obviously, we're not going to get a Grogu or anything, but you get like. You get like a little set piece, maybe not like anything too big, but something just like set next to him.
Yeah,
you know, maybe
I'm
like
surprised they didn't come with a poncho.
Yeah,
I am surprised he didn't come with a poncho.
You know, like a because you know when they charge the bunker, they put the charges on the bunker, like include a couple of those.
Yeah,
that's the kind of what I was thinking. But then they revealed that it's just a figure, like a Because if we rewind 3 years, this is a standard release.
Sure, like I agree. I agree with that. I 100% agree with that.
But it's just
like, you know, times have changed.
Yeah, and like, unfortunately, like Hasbro has changed the definition of what a deluxe is.
Of what deluxe is, yes.
And this is it. Yeah, now, you know, it's unfortunate, but I mean, it is what it is, and of course, I'm getting multiple. So, what am I here? You know.
Yeah, and someone in the chat brought up, and we've actually brought this up in our chat before our text. We don't know if the faces here are compatible with the Hoth Rebel Soldier bodies or those faces, because if they are, I'm 100% going to buy at least one more, and I can use one of the faces from the Hoth Rebel Soldier on this guy to even diversify it a little bit more. But they didn't say in the fan stream, so we don't know.
Yeah, correct. I wish they would have clarified on that, but
yeah, it's a good question. It's it's definitely a question. And you know, whenever we eventually do get some kind of interview with someone from Hasbro, you know, finding out about this guy, you know, like what went into that price point, like what was your thinking when making this deluxe? It would be something that I'm very curious about. But I will say, like, another common complaint are the knees, which I understand. The knees, when you bend them, it's just the color of the plastic underneath, and it looks pretty jarring. Yeah,
initially looking at it, I was like, really, like we couldn't get any paint on the knees, but then I didn't even think about it, and then you brought up the point of the paint chipping over time.
100%. No. Well, you know, I back in the day when they regular painted faces, and if they had a helmet on it, the paint would scrape off from putting the helmet on and off.
I mean, I have that problem with the Captain Rex figure I have. The helmet on mine is so tight. I noticed that if I did it a couple more times, it would start scraping my nose too heavy. And
my my FN 2187, the Finn with the removable helmet, Stormtrooper.
Yeah.
The paint is rubbing off on him. I've got a bunch of Transformers that have a lot of paint on the joints, and anytime I transform them, it's always chipping paint off.
Yeah.
On there. So it's one of those things. Like, you're right. It would have looked better. What I would have rather them done is make the base plastic the darker color, so it's less noticeable. You know,
and then paint on the tan spots.
And paint on the tan spots. Yeah.
Yeah, I could have seen that.
But they didn't. They went with this way, and it's one of those things. I'm gonna be okay with it. Could it have been better? Sure, but I'm not gonna let it ruin it for me. But it is gonna be like maybe a half point deduction when I end up reviewing it or something.
Yeah, and honestly, like, if you look at my shelf, I'm not, at least on this wall, I'm not doing any like super dynamic poses with the army building guys right now.
Yeah.
You know, on this wall, when I do some dioramas, I will, but like the Endor Trooper's probably not going to be in a super dynamic pose for me. It's going to be two guys standing there.
Yeah, they're just going to be standing there.
Solo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, and they're not going to be like this, you know. So
yeah,
I might have one guy in me, but yeah, you never know.
Yeah. Yeah. But then the second face is the controversial character of Nick Sant / Old Rex. Whoever you want him to be, that's who he is.
In your headcanon, is this Rex?
I go back and forth.
I do too. Like, I do the same thing. Whenever I first saw the theory, I was like, holy crap, Rex is on Endor fighting, and then I was like, wait a second. I kind of like this guy. Just
so in my headcanon, which is just code for, you know, I've just made stuff up to make myself feel better. But it is Nick Sant, and it's also Old Rex. That Rex enlisted in the rebellion under an assumed name, so that people didn't connect him to being a clone. I guess maybe he thought enough time had gone by and people hadn't seen clones in a long time that he wouldn't be immediately identifiable as a clone, and so he changed his name to Nick, and that's how he you know entered into the rebellion. I don't know. That's just my headcanon.
Yeah, my headcanon is that Darth Vader finds Rex and kills him. That's
or that.
That's pretty much my headcanon for every character. Like Jedi that are alive, like, nope, Darth Vader kills you. Like Gunji, I'm sorry, Darth Vader's killing you in my headcanon somewhere. Whenever he raids Kashyyyk, Darth Vader's killing you. That's how I think of things.
You know, I'm on the same boat as Dave Filoni. Like, if you want him to be Rex, he could be Rex. If you don't want him to be Rex, he doesn't have to be Rex. But Rex was on Endor during that fight. Like, that's canon. So he definitely could be if you want, or they just could have two old guys fighting on a forest moon.
Yeah. And if some people
either way,
they're going to put this with their they're going to put this with their like old Ahsoka. So,
sure. Yeah, if you want.
Or they're like Rebels Ahsoka. So it'll work.
It'll work. But yeah, so we're getting the two faces on the Endor Commando, and that definitely means I'm getting two. So this is going to come out in the summer probably, and it'll be on the 40th anniversary card, but it will also be in the main line. So if you don't want to get the 40th anniversary card, if you want to wait for the main line, you can do that. I'm buying both, so I'll eventually get two. I'll buy one 40th anniversary card, and then I'll buy him again when he's on main line, so I can have, you know, both.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna buy. I'm thinking about, like, should I get two right off the bat, or should I buy the carded one and then wait for a sale to get the second one, depending on the price point? Because if it's gonna be 33, like.
That's almost $70 for two figures.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, I feel like I got to buy the carded one and then wait for because if they're doing both packaging, it's going to hit a clearance at some point. So it's going to make biting that second bullet easier.
when the Honorable Soldier came out, when they announced it back in 2020, I told myself I was only going to get one. And then as soon as, because Dorkside Toys had them in super early, and I just ordered two from Dorkside Toys just to have two. And then I got a third one when he came out in the same wave. So I might break down and eventually do the same thing. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah. Eventually, I'm gonna have two. Just like now, I eventually have two of the Hoth Trooper. I'm gonna eventually have two of this.
At some point, I'm going to get two of these. I might get more, but two is a guaranteed. Yeah,
for sure. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad we're getting it. Go to that picture of the backpack. I think it's do you have that one? Oh, it's where he's like completely turned around.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just wanted to see like I think on the other side of the backpack right there's like some tubes coming out, which is kind of neat.
Yeah.
But we can look at that on our own time. But yeah, I'm excited I'm looking forward to it. I just wish he could have come with those like detonators or just a couple little extra accessories to
just
make
a little something. Yeah, just a little something. Yeah.
Just to take the sting off of paying $33 for what I feel like is closer to a $25 to $28 figure,
I think a poncho would have been really cool. Like if they had given us
a poncho,
if they had given us like maybe the same poncho that Rex had from the Bad Batch and just kind of colored it with the Endor camo colors, would have been fine.
I wonder if you can find an Endor Han Solo on like super clearance and just use the jacket.
I feel like his trench coat. I think some of them had trench coats. Yeah, I think that would work.
Yeah. I mean, it might work. Yeah. I mean, what are the odds Han Solo has like the only Endor colored trench coat? They had to have a bag where they're like, all right, everybody.
Yeah, get your Endor gear.
Or maybe somebody can like alternate Leia's poncho thing.
Yeah.
Or do something with that, but I don't know.
Or the Luke Skywalker one. I don't know.
Yeah, or the Luke one. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, so.
Oh boy.
Next figure is the controversial one. We're going in release in announcement order. So the next one was Clone Commander Jesse, who traditionally in the last couple months has been a figure that people have been arguing over whether it was pipelined or not. I still don't remember them actually pipelining it.
I haven't seen an official pipeline.
Just that Yakface had rumored it, and that was it. But the Jesse is a thing, and fake Jesse, yeah. So this is Uncle Jesse. Have mercy, guys. So.
Let's get the Walmart thing out of the way real quick.
Let's get the Walmart. Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. That's word for what I was going to say. Let's rip that Walmart Band-Aid off. This is a Walmart exclusive.
Yikes. So I think it might have been Justin that initially brought it up, but he was like, what if all of these 20th Clone Wars ones are going to be exclusives? And then, so the first one they do, it's a Walmart exclusive. So we're on that track. So unfortunately, hopefully everybody locks down that pre-order March 16th at 10 a.m.
March 16th. Yeah.
If we know of anything in the past, it's going to be delayed.
Yeah.
So
earlier when I said
it's not.
Earlier when I said, I'm not going to pre-order anything, I'm 100% going to pre-order this.
Walmart stuff you got to pre-order.
You have to pre-order it. Walmart's so stupid. Yeah, if you want it. And you know what? People might not want this. So let's talk about Jesse here. Before we talk about Jesse, I do want to say this is the only one that gave any kind of pre-order information for. Nothing else they showed off had any pre-order information. In fact, there's a lot of confusion going back and forth saying, like, is none of it going to go up for pre-order, or is it going to be pre-order later? Because I've heard, oh no, it's pre-order later, or no, it's going to just hit the shelves and you're just going to have to, there's not pre-order. So I don't know.
And honestly, like, even if everything else other than this Jesse that was revealed didn't have a pre-order, you're probably gonna get it pretty easily. Maybe not that. Maybe that Vader would be a little hard if it wouldn't pre-ordered or whatever. But everything else you're not gonna have trouble getting an Endor trooper that is raising arms with the price for.
Right.
Trust me.
Not at all.
You're not gonna have a hard time getting that at all.
for sure. But yeah, so let's talk about the problems with Jesse here. What's the first problem? What's the first problem you want to bring up?
So the fin, I would rather it be the correct phase 2 helmet. But real quick though, isn't it crazy that the knockoff company went out of their way to use the correct phase 2 helmet for this ARC Trooper, and Hasbro didn't fix it for the actual legit Jesse?
Yeah. It's such a weird it's a weird thing they did.
I don't care about the fin too much because standing on the shelf, that's not going to be too much of a distraction or anything. But the rangefinder is a little. The
rangefinder.
It's really,
so
it's
weird.
In the way. Because thinking, whenever we were ordering this Apo, sorry, hit the mic. I went out of my way to not buy the one with the visor because this is how it is. This is what I want, even though it's less product technically for the same price. Or I don't know if it was more or less expensive, but I didn't want the visor, and in this figure, I don't want the rangefinder. Yeah. So, and I'm not going to remove the rangefinder because then it looks weird with just the fin.
Right.
Because that's not an actual design. So
So and it's so weird because they said they went out of their way to make sure they got the information from season 7, and I have a picture on here next to Jesse of season 7 Jesse. You're like what were you looking at? Hasbro, what were you looking at when you made this? Because you weren't looking at season 7 Jesse, that's for sure.
Yeah, that there's no way they were doing season 7 Jesse. Yeah. And I guess you can put this on your shelf and you can say, well, I guess technically at one point he would have
at some
this
point
helmet.
He wore this. Yes. At some point Jesse would have worn this.
But they said season 7, and that's the Jesse that we saw have a big role in the show, and that's the one I want on my shelf.
Yep.
And they gave him this helmet, which is just it's a crazy decision because they did the same thing in TVC a while ago. Everybody complained about it.
Yeah.
And they just didn't fix it. So.
Yeah. But they did. I will say the face looks great.
The face is great. It needs a matte spray, of course. But
we'll see. Fantastic. It's one of those things. It's clear on this picture that it did not have a matte spray. We'll see if it's got a matte spray when we get it, because
we'll see if they got the note.
We'll see if the factory got the note. But because people that are getting Mara Jade and stuff now are saying that she has a matte spray now. So
interesting.
Yeah. That's
the figure itself looks fantastic. That little metallic on the backpack, I'm all for that against the navy color there.
Yeah. So Walmart. It's going to be on shelf this summer. Pre-orders March 16th. Hopefully it won't be a crazy wait. Hopefully no one that wants one will get it canceled. I'm definitely getting one. I'll probably pre-order 2 because Walmart is dumb like that, where you get the free shipping if you order 2.
For sure.
So there's that.
GamerZone brings up, could a new helmet not have been in the budget? Well, they don't. Maybe they wouldn't have to make a new helmet because they already have the Phase 2 helmet. They just have to put that logo on it. They already have. They have this mold, the 1.5, and they have the Phase 2. Just use the Phase 2 helmet and put that logo on his forehead.
Yeah.
Make it the 501st color, and you're good to go.
They even have the Phase 2 helmet with the hollow in it for the helmet, because that's how the Phase 2 clone troopers are. They have a unpainted helmet or head underneath. All they have to do is use that and paint it the right colors. Yeah. It is a weird choice. And again, that's kind of the issue we have with this whole fan stream is on some level I'm happy with all of these, except for everyone has weird issues.
Exactly. And I do want to say that I guess in the Battlefront 2 game, I believe this is how the ARC Troopers look. They have a rangefinder and they have the fin.
Yeah.
So is Hasbro just saying that this is the way they look in live action? But even though they said season 7 of Clone Wars, and season 7 of Clone Wars is super realistic animation. And it's just a regular Phase 2 helmet, so I don't see why they would do this. But I guess at least it matches Echo, the Echo Clone Wars one we got.
It'll look good next to Echo, that's for
Yeah.
sure. They'll look like they belong in the same squad. So
Yeah,
we
100%.
have that. Yeah. All right. And then our last reveal.
Wait a second. We got to do the Lando thing. We got to do the Lando comment. I don't like it. I don't agree with it, but I accept it.
There you go.
For that.
There you go. Yeah. Absolutely.
Ki-Adi-Mundi. Look at this
Ki-Adi-Mundi. Look at he's a whole new mold. I'm just gonna start off by saying the good things here.
Wait, are you upset? Are you disappointed in this? Am I sensing
I don't like
some...
Ki-Adi-Mundi. I don't like him. He's the worst.
Are you talking about the character? Are you talking about specifically the character?
Yes. I struggle with even wanting to buy him for my shelf. I hate Ki-Adi-Mundi as a character. What
drives this hate? Because I can give you a million reasons why Mace Windu is such a bigger dick than this guy.
I'm not saying that Mace Windu is not a bigger dick, but he made every worst decision to make everything worse in Star Wars. He's the one that sent Yoda away from the council to go to Kashyyyk. I had a whole list of bad decisions that if you read all the decisions that Ki-Adi-Mundi brought up and was responsible for, you'd think like, was this guy working for the bad guys? Because he made some terrible decisions. I don't know. He looks great as a toy. He looks fine. We got layers. Everything's new. One of his hands is sculpted to look like it's using the Force. It's like everything I want.
Ball joint wrists. So you notice ball joint wrists?
Ball joint wrists.
That's a big one.
Absolutely. This is really what we want. I just don't like Ki-Adi-Mundi. So it's hard for me to get excited for him. But I'm definitely going to buy him. He's definitely going to be on my shelf. I'm not happy about it.
But what about the droid attack on the Wookiees?
What about it, Ki-Adi? What about it? Why don't you go?
Would you have backhanded him?
Just would
sit next to him and
slapped him in the face.
To be fair, he isn't the person that gave Chancellor Palpatine unlimited like executive power or whatever they say in the movie. So he didn't go that far.
I guess.
I'm gonna have to rewatch the prequels and or at least go look up your list of everything that Ki-Adi-Mundi did wrong to lead to the Jedi demise. But I mean, I have memories of Ki-Adi-Mundi from Battlefront 2 and all that back in the day, so I'm nostalgic for Ki-Adi-Mundi. I like this, but now we 100% need some Galactic Marines to shoot at him. 100%. That's probably. I'm assuming that's your favorite scene definitely. In the prequels is Ki-Adi-Mundi getting killed, right?
Mowed down. Absolutely.
But yeah, I'm really excited for this figure. Initially, it kind of threw me off because I was like, "Where's his soft goods?" And then I realized the brown is like his little like
that is his Jedi
cloak thing, and I was like, "That looks amazing!" Yeah. Like I bet Lance Peter Luke is having a ball looking at this plastic and not soft goods because the hood, the plastic molded down. Like I absolutely love it, and I think that it works really, really well on this figure than the soft good like little half robe layers.
I found the graphic I was looking for. So he was the first person to deny the return of the Sith after Qui-Gon's encounter with Darth Maul. So he basically just did not believe Qui-Gon when in Phantom Menace.
Well, to be fair, Qui-Gon looks like he takes drugs, so you can't blame him.
He withheld assistance to Satine, which led to Maul taking over Mandalore and complicating the war. That was in Clone Wars.
But the Jedi aren't allowed to get involved, right?
Still. He was the first to accuse Ahsoka during her trial, leading to her leaving the Order and causing Anakin to begin losing trust in the Council.
That's a big one.
He brought up the droid attack on the Wookiees, causing Yoda to leave the temple, and he's the one that suggested that Obi-Wan go after Grievous, separating him from Anakin.
That always did confuse me why Anakin never, like, they just, like, Anakin never went with him for that, because they always do things as a team, like they're a team. Why would you just send one
They're a
Jedi
team.
to
Why would they go by himself? Yeah,
droids and
hey, this guy that you guys have fought a bunch of times in the Clone Wars, just Obi-Wan go after him. Anakin doesn't need to. Just Obi-Wan.
Ki-Adi-Mundi might be the Sith Lord everybody was
I'm just
was
saying.
looking for.
It's him and Jar Jar.
Him and Jar Jar. So
they work together.
if we were in those times, if you would have told me all this in between those times, between episode 7 and episode 8 coming out, I would have thought Ki-Adi-Mundi was Snoke.
I honestly would believe that.
I mean, given everything you just said, and he sounds like a pretty big douche.
Yeah.
But he seems like he has good intentions, but maybe he just doesn't make the best decisions.
Yeah,
Mace Windu, on the other hand, is like just a complete total asshole.
Yeah, no, and I think what it is Ki-Adi-Mundi represents the height of the hubris of the Jedi, where he's just making bad decisions because he's not even looking at what he's doing. He's just putting pieces on the board. He's button mashing the controller in a fighting game, is what he's doing.
Yeah, I see that. Yes, screw you, Ki-Adi-Mundi. I'm glad those Galactic Marines mowed you down.
Slaughtered you. I do like that he could put his lightsaber on his belt. It's weird that Mace Windu couldn't.
Yeah.
But
yeah, the figure looks absolutely amazing.
The figure looks good. No, it does, and I'm going to buy it. I just had to get that Ki-Adi-Mundi hate out of me. I feel lighter now that I've ranted about Ki-Adi.
It's gonna hurt you so bad whenever you put this in your top 10.
I'm not going to put it. He's not going to be my top 10.
But look how great the figure. Look at those the ball joint wrisks. Come on, the ball joint wrists. Come on now. Look at that.
Fine.
Look at that head sculpt.
We'll see. I promise not to take him off the list just because of who he is. Okay.
Okay, I agree.
That's all I can promise. That's all I can promise.
I'm glad we've compromised. I like this.
So far, like I got a Luke Skywalker, Jedi Cruiser, like topping my list. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean I'm so excited for that. I can't wait.
Also, Mon Mothma. I don't understand how he could be better than Mon Mothma.
Oh yeah, for sure. And Ki-Adi-Mundi is going to be fan channel exclusive, so there will be no issues getting this.
That's true. He'll be fan channel exclusive. You pick your poison, hit that pre-order button whenever or buy button, I guess. If it doesn't pre-order, I don't know, whatever.
That's US. I can't speak to the UK and how I know they might have issues with some fan channel stuff, but for US fan channel, you won't have a single issue getting it. And if you're in the UK, maybe you'll win it in a giveaway one day. You never know.
Yep. It says available on the shelf spring of 2024, but let's be honest, that's that overestimation they've been doing. I'm going to guess we'll see this probably fall of 2023. That's my guess.
Well, I never realized it said available 2024. You said 2024, and I was like, hold on.
Yeah, no.
That's insane. But yeah,
no. And they even said
always
when they announced
overshoot.
Him, yeah. When they announced them, they said they don't have packaging available to show off because of how far out in advance they're showing him. So we'll see.
Interesting. What line do you think he's going to be in? What movie?
We talked about this. I think he could be part of the Attack of the Clones line, but he could really go in any of the three. He could be number one of Revenge of the Sith, because apparently Ki-Adi-Mundi only has the one set of clothes. Being a Jedi.
That's true. I think whenever I think about him, and maybe it's just because I grew up mostly with Revenge of the Sith, I think about Revenge of the Sith whenever I think of Ki-Adi. And I think it also has to do with that Battlefront 2 video game that I absolutely still adore to this day, and fighting with him on Magneto, and that's the movie that battle was in. So I think of that movie when I think of him, but I could also, I would understand why they would put him in his first appearance, from another movie. So
yeah,
but I just want to see that Revenge of the Sith packaging already.
Yeah, we do need some of that for sure. And then the last thing they showed off, which I guess we could talk about just because it is technically Black Series, and honestly, it's the first time they've shown off a helmet that's made me want to buy it. But they announced the Scout Trooper helmet.
It looks so good.
It does look good.
And the way
Chris
it
was
like,
wearing
comes
it.
up. Mm-hmm.
Chris was wearing it, so it makes me think that maybe I could wear it too. But yeah, the whole front opens up, which is great. This is my favorite. This is my favorite helmet, like hands down, of all the Stormtroopers, anything Star Wars. The Scout Trooper is my favorite helmet.
Yeah, it's a really sick helmet. I'm not gonna get it. The only other helmet I would even consider getting is the just like regular 501st helmet, and then like a Kylo Ren one.
Yeah, I say that I'm not gonna get it. I haven't bought any helmets yet. Like I didn't buy the Boba Fett helmet. I didn't buy the Darth Vader helmet, even though I wanted that. I'm never gonna buy a helmet or a lightsaber unless someone gives one to me, or I just get it insanely cheap.
I mean, you might be able to get this on a sale in a year or something or two.
Who knows? Yeah, who knows? We'll see. But even though my initial thought is if I got a helmet, it would be this one, I'm probably never gonna buy this.
Yeah, and I think I would only recommend buying the helmet if you have like a specific spot to where when you get home, you can place it in a good spot. Like to me, like
right.
If I buy a helmet and whenever they come out with a 501st helmet, it's going right down there, right under that Boba Fett or Mandalorian helmet.
You got a spot for it. Yeah.
I have a set spot for it. But other than that, like I wouldn't buy a helmet if I had to make room for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
okay, well, I mean, we don't want to go too into it. Oh yeah, pipeline reveals. So pipeline reveals.
How do you feel about these? So I'll go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
I might be crazy because I haven't seen people too excited about this. Well, most people are excited about the deluxe Darth Malgus, but if it's going to be a deluxe like the Endor Rebel Trooper, it'll just be like that figure. It won't come with anything else. But for some reason, I know I'm crazy, but I'm more excited about the Luke and Grogu build-up pack. Like, as soon as I saw that episode, I was like, I put it in my notes, my list of one added under Book of Boba Fett show, and I put Luke and Grogu. So I'm excited that we're getting a Luke on that new mold. It's going to have that backpack. It's going to have his, like, the Jedi, like, more of, like, the karate robe.
Yeah, I was going to say, he has, like, a karate gi on.
Yeah, it's going to have, like, that on. It's going to have the backpack with Grogu in it. Like, I'm kind of pumped for this, personally. I'm more pumped for that than the Darth Malgus, which I know is crazy, but I never played those games, even though I am getting those figures. Like, I'm going to buy every single Luke that they put on a new, like, Return of the Jedi era body, and I'm going to be happy about it. So I'm handing you the floor now.
I've seen a lot of people say, oh, they're just going to take that Luke and give him the backpack from the Luke Yoda 2-pack, and that's going to be it. And the first thing I tried to do, guys, when I got the new Luke Skywalker is put that Yoda backpack on him and that's like, I have a picture that I showed off of that. It doesn't fit. They're going to have to change something, either a brand new backpack. Obviously, they're going to probably give us mostly the same Luke, but with a different torso.
Yeah.
Like, that's 100% going to happen. I'm going to buy it. I'm looking forward to it just like you are, but I'm 100% more looking forward to Darth Malgus. I think he's deluxe because of his size. He is bigger.
Is he? Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, he's a more kind of imposing, larger figure. Yeah, I don't know what else he could come with to make him deluxe, and I don't know what about his paint would be crazy. I think he's just sort of a larger dude.
Does he? And I get like those characters mixed up since I never played the games, but I've watched those like really cool cutscenes and trailers that they do, that are like kind of long for like gameplay trailers or whatever.
Yep.
Does he have an alternate face, like event, like or is that somebody else? Where he wears a mask at one point?
No.
Or like has
that's.
Is that the
that's
other
how
guy
he always looks? Yeah, Darth Malak like has a face, like a jaw under his like jaw thing or whatever.
Okay.
But I don't know. Maybe I don't think so. I've only played the Old Republic MMO, and that's just how he looks in all of that. So
is it the one we're getting that sometimes he has that silver thing and then sometimes that's off? You know what I'm talking about? it's the Bastilla Shan
Let's
and
see.
that other one we're getting. Like I don't.
That's Darth Malak. Yeah, Darth Malak has the mouthpiece that comes off.
Yeah. Okay. Because I feel like I've seen
Yeah.
one of them characters that like sometimes he looks a little different depending like. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna get Malgus. Like he's gonna be super cool on the shelf. So I'm getting all those. Bastilla Shan, Malak, Malgus. I'm getting all of them, but I'm just more excited about the Luke personally. I guess because like I was so excited watching that episode, like, and the technological advancement that Luke face is over the one from season 2 of Mandalorian. You know, like I will always remember that moment in time of watching that episode. So I'm just absolutely hyped. I just hope like the Build-A-Pack thing it comes with. What could it come with? Like 3 of those like frogs we already got. Because when he raises up all the frogs, or like
honestly,
the Build-A-Pack might be kind of lame, but the character is really cool.
I'm hoping he comes with alternate hands like Luke does. You know, I'm thinking like the Dagobah Luke Yoda 2-pack. You know, that one came with 2 extra hands, like a force hand and a stand on your head hand. Excuse me. I'm hoping that there's maybe a couple different parts for Grogu. Maybe a little Yoda lightsaber. You know, I don't know,
Yoda saber, or
little things like that,
or like a little chainmail.
Little chainmail.
Didn't he give him chainmail? Right.
Yep.
Yeah, that could work. That could work.
Yeah. I mean, I have been more excited for pipeline reveals, but these were fine, and that's kind of like my whole thing is everything was fine. Like nothing got me super excited, but nothing. For me personally, nothing really got me super disappointed. I was very whelmed. I wasn't overwhelmed.
Like content.
I wasn't underwhelmed. Maybe slightly closer to underwhelmed, especially after the whole G.I. Joe debacle that happened immediately after. I think it could have been better.
From G.I. Joe.
Yeah, I think it could have been better, and I think Hasbro could have maybe put a little bit more. I don't know, more thought or something.
Well, I think
into
like
some of these. But
I think it's also because of how many figures we have pipelined.
Yeah.
That I was like 2 more of those. Like just pick like any 2. Like you can do Cad Bane and Kersantin, or like R2 and Luke, or whatever, you know, of all.
Well, any of the other 40th anniversary,
Tusken
the
Chieftain
wave,
or whatever.
The wave 3 of the 40th anniversary, I thought for sure we were going to see. I thought we were going to see all of those today. In fact, I did not record my review for the new Luke Skywalker figure that I got, because I wanted to wait until after the review, because I wanted to mention him in the review, like, and this, we're also getting this, you know. And I wanted to show him off, but we can't because they didn't announce it. So I'm just gonna ignore it. But I thought for sure we'd see the new R2, we'd see the Jedi dual Luke, we'd see the removable helmet Vader. And when they showed off Vader at the beginning, I thought for sure we're gonna see Vader. You know, so it's my own expectations that kind of made me disappointed.
Yeah,
because
I feel like they just kept too much stuff in the chamber.
They kept too much stuff in the chamber. Yeah.
And is there like a big event coming up, like any type of con?
There's supposed to be the Toy Fair. It was supposed to happen in usually happens in February, the New York Toy Fair, but it got pushed back to September this year.
Okay, because I was thinking like, what could they be like? Because they got to be saving this stuff to reveal at some point. Like, I wonder if they you know how sometimes like IGN randomly reveals a figure, or like Entertainment Weekly, or just like some of these random news or like article sites. I wonder if they got some of those.
We still could, because like I said on, was it Tuesday, Transformers had a whole fan stream just like the Star Wars one, but then the day after, on Star Wars Day / G.I. Joe Day, they also revealed even more Transformers that they didn't show off on their live stream. So they showed even more off the day after.
And that happened. That kind of happened, not like more, but last year I think it was. I forget which figure it was, but there was a live stream, and then like 2 or 3 days later, they had a reveal.
They had more reveals,
So, I mean, there's a chance we could, on our next podcast, that we could have more, like another reveal or 2.
Could be.
Because they like to trickle them, you know, consistently throughout the year. So
it's not unheard of. There's precedent for that to happen.
Yeah.
So, sure. But that's it. So then I just want to talk about Oh, I wanted to talk about the stupid clone trooper from Andor real quick.
Oh,
First of all, this is the only 3 3/4 inch figure we're going to talk about. They showed off another clone trooper. Apparently, it's a whole new mold for the vintage collection. I'm happy that vintage collection collectors are getting a new clone trooper mold. I don't know if they are or not, but I'm always happy for my fellow collectors when they get something new. But why on earth do they get painted heads?
Of generic painted heads underneath. And why don't
we get that? Like, the head's there. It's there. All you have to do is paint it. But they don't. But it's there.
So I guess we'll just have to wait and see what they do with that pipelined one, but we haven't gotten any of those yet.
It's just so... It's frustrating. Like, I don't like to be negative, but like, again, I'm happy for TV. I'm not one of those guys that's like, TVC got, Wilbon's right.
Bro, they
TVC
took the
got
big
a
W.
lot. Yeah. TVC and the Star Wars thing, they got the majority of the reveals. They got a ton of new stuff. Their 2/12 pack has a waxer in it, like that's cool. Like, they're getting cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy for TVC.
I do have a question about that.
Yeah.
Is that the first waxer that's been in TVC?
I have no idea.
But I hope maybe somebody in the chat will know because...
Why would I know? Why would I know that?
I'm not... You keep up with, old...
That's true.
Maybe it came up older. Maybe it was older a long time ago. But, like... Because Veal's Toy Store randomly had that waxer... Like... That waxer, the decals for the helmet. So is it possible that they had access to, like, the Hasbro version beforehand and just, like, upsized it? To fit on a 6-inch?
Could be. It does look the same, which means
it looks like pretty legit, like the same.
It definitely looks the same, so it could be.
Like, because I'm thinking, what if Veal's Toy Store, like if Hasbro's been kind of sitting on that for a while, and Veal's Toy Store is just like,
it could
I'm
be
using it, So we'll just have to see, I guess. If it happens one more time, like. If it happens with another clone in like
if the
6
waxer
or 8 months,
comes out or the boil, if the boil comes out,
if boil comes out, or like if Veal's Toy Store reveals like one of like just a like a Wolfpack clone, and then Hasbro announces a TVC Wolfpack, then we'll know. So it's just we'll keep a mental note.
Sure.
We'll keep a mental note. Sure. But that popped in my mind whenever they revealed Waxer. I'm like, wait a second, Veal's Toy Store just put that up. Yep. So I wonder if they've had access to that and kind of jumped the gun.
It could be. Cool. Well, so real quick, I wanted to talk about G.I. Joe. For the people that collect G.I. Joes and you as a non-G.I. Joe person. So the first thing they announced here, this is Snow Job.
What did you just...
His name is Snow Job, which is a pun for a con. Just so you know, it's not a pun on blowjob.
I'm just being immature right now.
No, everyone is. That's the thing. But I didn't even know that. But a snow job is an attempt to persuade someone to do something or persuade someone that something is good or true when it is not. That is a snow job.
Interesting.
So that's a real thing, and that's where they got the name from. But also, he is a G.I. Joe guy in a bunch of snow gear. So he's got like a sniper rifle. He's got skis. He's got snowshoes. He's got a backpack that holds the skis or the snowshoes. Alternate head. Just so much stuff. Like, look at this guy. And to be fair, Hasbro owns G.I. Joe outright. So, they don't have to worry about working with Lucasfilm. They don't have to worry about licensing fees, all that stuff. So all that does factor into it. But like, this is a lot of stuff. And I don't know if this is deluxe or a regular release, but he looks great. And then later, like an hour later, they showed off this guy. He's a Cobra. This is Scrap Iron. And he comes with a full on like drone turret thing with firing missiles and like blast effects,
and like,
smoke effects. It's
Is
nuts.
that little like control, like the little control for it?
Yeah, it's
You
a
know,
little remote control for it. Yeah, looks like a
this
Game
stuff
Gear.
this stuff is insane. Like this is immaculate. I feel
Yeah.
like could you just think about it for a second? Could you imagine if Hasbro like had the budget to do this for Black Series? Like 50, I would pay $35 to $45 for
Easily.
current like modern Black Series figures with this much stuff.
Yeah. Well, you
Like-
remember the Stormtrooper that they made a couple of years ago that came with the
with
stand and a bunch of blast
yeah,
effects and stuff? Yeah.
with the damage.
Yeah. Then they showed off this. This is the steel core.
2-pack.
A 2-pack, a dude body and a girl body. They both have like 5 different weapons each, a bunch of different blast effects and gunfire effects, and then rocket packs with blast effects on them. And each has an alternate helmet as well.
Absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
And there's so many options for the guns there.
Yeah.
There's like 6 different blast effects that you could do. You know, it has a silencer attachment on the
Yes.
machine gun on the bottom.
Machine gun. Yes. Yeah.
And they got removable magazines on those on all 3 of them. Like that's absolutely nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, you know, if they ever do like a selfie series 2.0 and this is an option, I'm 100% putting my head on this guy right here.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the
and then
snow
last
guy.
one-
The snow job
The
guy.
snow guy? Yeah.
He's pretty sick.
And this is the last one. This is a Televiper, who's a Cobra trooper, and then what they call a Trouble Bubble. So it's a little rocket pod that he kind of sits in and flies around with. And this is 100% intended to be like army built. Like this is a vehicle that all the Cobra guys ride around in. This is like their personal transports that have little rockets and guns on them. And then the Televiper, you can see here, there's 3 different alternate heads. There's a dark skin head, a light skin head, and then like kind of a faceless robot guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, or is that
yeah.
just like maybe like a visor down, or is it I guess it's a robot.
Well, it's just supposed to be like a full, like a faceless kind of guy. Like there's nothing under there. But yeah, I dig this. Like this is, I'm gonna have a hard time making myself only buy like 1 or 2 of these because of how cool it is.
Is it? I can't tell. Is it? That's a clear like bubble. Is that
Yes.
right, or is that just like that's like a
it's
clear
a clear
bubble
bubble.
over it?
Yeah,
Okay,
they call it a trouble bubble.
trouble. Yeah,
So yeah.
yeah. That's super sick. I
Yeah.
think what's your favorite of the? Is this all 4 of them?
This is all 4 reveals. To the favorite, I don't know.
Of these 4?
My favorite's probably the drone guy, followed by Snow Job, followed by the Trouble Bubble, and then this one's last. But I love them all so much. I'm much more excited for these 4 things than any of the Star Wars stuff. And I say that with, you know, a full half of my room being dedicated to Star Wars. Like, I love Star Wars. I have 2 shelves of G.I. Joe right here, and I'm so much more excited for these 4 reveals than I was for any of the Star Wars stuff.
I mean, they just went all out. I mean, we just got an indoor soldier for $33 that comes with a normal. It looked like standard release stuff. Like this is like these accessories, and like they just went all out with these.
And
G.I.
granted,
Joe
I don't know
figures.
how much this guy could be $50 for all I know, 40 bucks or whatever. Like this could be 40 or 50. I don't know how much these cost. But here's the thing: even if these cost $50, look at all the stuff. I think it's worth. I think it's worth that.
Yeah, that's a lot for like whatever it's gonna be. Like if they did this in Star Wars, like
well, like
a
this is
2-pack
definitely
with
gonna be
all
like,
that stuff.
this is definitely gonna be like $60 right here. Like all that stuff, 2 figures. There's no way this doesn't cost like $60.
Yeah,
But yeah. There's so much stuff. I love it. So that was the G.I. Joe reveals. I know we had a little G.I. Joe segment on Star Wars, but it just, I all day yesterday, I couldn't stop think of how much better G.I. Joe did than Star Wars yesterday when they didn't even have like a hype fan, like live stream. They just showed pictures of digital renders and I lost my mind.
It came out of nowhere too, and I loved all the memes of like But Chaz the Guru had one where it's like the school bus and the train. You know,
Yes,
so Star Wars live stream, and then G.I. Joe.
That guy. So that guy. I feel like all he does all day is sit at home and think of memes.
150%. Some of them, like, so I don't like some of the memes that kind of attack the Star Wars team personally. Like the Patrick ones can be a little too too much. But for the most part, his stuff is pretty on point.
It's
like,
really
that one
funny.
Was really
Yeah,
good.
yeah, that's really good. Yeah.
So
cool. Well, that's it. That's all the reveals. What did you think? Well, give it a grade.
Am I grading Star Wars or G.I. Joe?
Oh no, well, grade Star Wars first of all.
Star Wars, I'll do a C plus because I feel like I liked what they revealed, but I feel like it was a TVC heavy stream, but I feel like, and maybe it's just me knowing that they have so much in their bag that they can pull out later that I was hoping they'd pull out then. So maybe like it's that, but I'm going to do a C plus because I feel like we could have gotten one or two more of those pipelined like in the plastic form. And then G.I. Joe was like an A plus. That shit was amazing.
Yeah. All right. I'm kind of in the same boat, but G.I. Joe made me lower my grade a little bit for Star Wars. And you're absolutely right. It felt like they just played it safe. They did the bare minimum. Like it's very much one of my reports from high school where I did the absolute bare minimum and earned my C. Like very average effort. Yes, I put something on paper and I turned it in on time, but I didn't put any work into it enough to get anything higher than a C.
Yeah, it's almost like they're like, oh, boss says we got a live stream on the 2nd.
Exactly.
What do we got?
That's exactly what it was like. That's the same energy it had. That's it.
Yeah, and they're just so like I love Eric. Jing is really good. Chris is okay.
Yep.
I forget who else was on. Oh, the TVC lady. She's really cool. But
Emily's great.
Emily's great. Sometimes it just feels like too corporate, you know. And
you're right.
It's just an ongoing thing with the streams.
It feels
it's not
so corporate.
Anymore.
Yeah, it feels so corporate with those guys. The whole team.
Yeah. And not to say like I like them individually. You know, Chris can be a little. I don't know what the word I'm trying to think of. Like not bad, but like. I guess on those like Q&As, I feel like sometimes he can be a little condescending or something like that. But
he can come on a little strong sometimes too.
Yeah, but
a little aggressive.
But I mean, it's fine. I mean, it is what it is. Like it's not gonna change anytime soon. So
yeah.
But
cool.
So
well, let's briefly talk about the anniversary, the birthday we are having.
We are having a birthday.
We didn't get anything for it.
We did not yet anyway. And it's weird that they didn't even acknowledge the 10-year Black Series birthday on the live stream.
And it was like the announcement happened pretty much around the same time. Like it's not 10 years from when it came out, but it's 10 years from when it got announced.
It was announced on January 29th of 2013.
Right. And then like 3 days later. You can look up
the article. You just type in Black Series 2013 like revealed or something like that, and then the article pops up. So what are some of your highlights, lowlights from the first 10 years, and what are you hoping for to get more going in the future, and just kind of general thoughts of the first decade of Black Series?
You know, it's so weird. As a kid, 10 years felt like so long, and it was because you know when you're 8. 10 years is longer than your entire life. So, but now as a 40-year-old, 10 years doesn't seem very long at all. Like I bought my first Black Series figure when I was 31, you know, because it came out after my birthday. So I would have been 31 at that point. And it just doesn't seem like that much time. It doesn't seem like that much time at all. It's so weird to think about how much time it really is and how much time it doesn't feel like. I saw a Reddit post the other day, I think it was Reddit, of someone saying that the Black Series had peaked. And I'm like, well, the Black Series has actually peaked a couple times. Like over the last 10 years, there's been a lot of ups and downs. Like 2016 was definitely a low point for Black Series in terms of, the face quality and how many people we were oversaturated with Rogue One figures, and no one liked the sequel series, and then he turned it around in 2018 and moving up from 2017 to the height that we haven't seen in a long time. So it's had a bunch of ups and downs. So saying, oh no, now it's peaked, no, it's peaked a couple times. This just might be the first time you're noticing it. But this isn't something new, and it's not going to go away because of this.
Yeah, I agree. It definitely had its ups and downs. The highlight for me is the excitement of whenever Force Awakens was coming out and going to actually going to my first Midnight Madness. Is that what they called it, right? And I was in freaking Bowling Green, Kentucky, where I'm sitting there and I'm in college. I'm there's no way there's gonna be anybody here. But I'll get there and there's 6 other people, there to get some Star Wars figures, and I'm just oh damn, I'm trying to get this Kylo Ren, I hope it's not sold out. But luckily I was able to secure everything. But that was a highlight for me, even though the figures, looking back now, that Rey is absolutely terrible,
not a good figure.
But at the time I could look at that figure
we
and
didn't know any better.
At the time I'm this comes with a BB. Well, they did the running change where they had the dirtier BB-8.
Yep.
So I actually bought a second one because I'm freaking crazy, and that was the highlight of all those figures coming out.
Sure.
And then the day after, seeing the leak of the Captain Phasma, so knowing that was coming out eventually. And then who would have thought that I would get out of collecting? And then if you would have told me then that I'd be doing a podcast about it at the end of that, the first 10 years of the Black Series, that'd be crazy. Now we got this great podcast for the next 10 years and on. So I'm excited about that. Just crazy what this 10 years has brought, for sure. I'm excited to see where it goes.
I agree. It's been a fun ride. It's been fun to collect. I'm definitely hitting a point of saturation, shelf wise and stuff, where well, we've already talked about how I'm not going to be a completionist anymore, but that doesn't mean that I don't love the line anymore. It just means that the way I'm collecting things is changed, and it's not just Star Wars. It's everything. But being a completionist in anything is never sustainable. There's always going to be a point to where
you run out of space, or
something's got to give. So, but I think toy wise, we've never really had toys as good as we've had recently. The releases that they've done, the Darth Maul, the Miggs Mayfeld, the Endor Trooper looks great. Are there issues with pricing and deluxe versus non-deluxe, and some issues with shiny heads and stuff? Sure, but there's always issues. There's always been.
It's
times,
never going to be perfect.
Exactly. Exactly. So I'm here for the long haul for sure. I can't wait for another 10 years of doing this. Who knows
every other Thursday. So
that's right.
For the next 25 years until one of us croaks, I guess, or something.
Yeah. I really do hope as a celebration they re-release the first 4 figures with updated molds, but in the original packaging. I think that would be a cool touch.
That would be that. It would make so much sense. The only one that if you're the Star Wars team, the only one I feel like they would have a hard time convincing the suits to do a new one of is probably the X-Wing body for some reason. But they got the
But they
R2.
need a new X-Wing body. They need a new one.
I know
anyway.
they need one. They need a new one. I just feel like that's the one. If they can convince the suits, to allow them to do a new mold. Then, because they can easily do a new Darth Maul and it'd sell crazy, and then
they've already got an R2 coming out.
They've already got the R2. They got the new body of the Stormtrooper. They can just do some adjustments to that and make you the same trooper. So it can easily it can be done. We just got to hope that something happens. Yep. And I would even take just do R2 and Maul or R2 and Luke. Like, you can do 2 of them or whatever. Just I would rather have all 4, the wave, but just do whatever to do they got to do something for the 10-year birthday of it.
They have to do something. Yeah.
And are we as fans just making it a bigger deal than it actually is? Like, did they ever do anything for like 10 years of TVC or 15 year or anything like that?
I mean, I don't know. Honestly, they've done things for like the 300th figure and the 500th figure of TVC, but I feel like TVC has never run that long concurrently as a line. If that
Are you
makes
saying
sense.
is that because it died at one point?
Yeah, kind of. Well, like the 3 3/4 line has
It just changes.
It changes exactly. Like it originally started as Power of the Force in '95, and there's been an uninterrupted 3 3/4 inch line since then. Mm-hmm. But the style and the title of what the line's been called has changed about 40 times since the Power of the Force 2 line in 1995. And I say the Power of the Force 2 because the vintage collection, there was a good, 10 years in between 85 and 95. And that's kind of one of the reasons why they came out with the Power of the Force 2. Partially because they had they wanted to drum up excitement for the special edition leading into the prequels and stuff, but also because it had been 10 years since the line had been on shelves. So they wanted to redo 3 3/4 inch Star Wars again.
Yeah. Could you imagine how confusing our podcast would have been if...
Oh my God.
If they never ended the 3 3/4 Black Series, so every podcast we had to be like, we get new people, they're like, are y'all going to talk about Black Series 3 3/4? Or we're like, no, we're the 6-inch podcast.
You still get people saying, what scale is this?
I literally saw one today. It was the TVC Darth Vader, and on each bottom, the Instagram posted 3 different pictures, or it was Twitter, I can't remember, but it had TVC in the corner, the Vintage Collection logo, and there were comments saying, is this Black Series, is this 3 3/4 or 6-inch? And it's like, just look at it's Vintage Collection, look at the logo, it's
Collection.
right there.
Yeah.
And I don't see, how can you look at the figure, like, even if it's a render, or like a picture on the screen and not tell? You can just tell by like what's a word I'm trying to think of? You can just tell by like context clues what size it is.
Yeah, almost. Looking at it. Yeah, you
just
can tell.
Like references of like how big it is versus the box.
Yeah.
To see if it's 6-inch or 3 3/4.
Yeah.
But casuals. Not nobody listening to this is a casual, so we can complain.
No,
about
everyone that
casuals,
listens to this, everyone listening to this is a hardcore fan that we love dearly.
Yeah, but first 10 years of the Black Series, definitely some ups and downs.
Yep.
It's peaked and valleyed for sure. Those figures before photoreal, just like,
well, especially in like
some
2016,
of them were just brutal. Yeah,
especially in 2016 when they stopped fully painting the faces and they only painted like the eyes and the lips. Like that was terrible.
Those are bad.
Those are the worst. Bad. Yeah, those are the worst.
Yeah, there's some scary figures out there. 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
Well, we'll see what the next 11 months holds. The 10th anniversary is a whole year. It's not just one day. So we'll see. We're also running the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi and the 20th anniversary of the Clone Wars. So we've got a lot of stuff to look forward to, and it's only the beginning of February.
Yeah, we're off to a solid start for 2023.
I would say so.
Yeah,
I would say so.
Start.
Yeah.
Because we got a lot of pipelines in the bag that we know are going to be revealed and are on the way. So
they are coming. They are coming. Drums in the deep.
You added on Star Wars Visions to our notes.
Yeah. So today the Star Wars Twitter account released information on season 2 of Visions, which our second episode ever was on Visions that we never saw any figures from in the Black Series. So that was fun. But some of the first season was all anime, like Japanese anime. Mm-hmm. But the second season isn't. And I think that's a good idea because it stops it from just being, oh, this is Star Wars anime, where it's just a bunch of different animation studios kind of giving their own spin on Star Wars. So some of the names on here, we've got Cartoon Saloon. They've done some amazing films that are gorgeous. Wolf Walkers, The Secret of Kel, Song of the Sea. If you go Google any of those, like you're looking at the animation style, it's very distinct and particular. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing what they could do with Star Wars. The next one they did was Punk Robot. I'd never heard of this, and I've never seen anything they've done. But again, it's kind of like that, I don't know, like a weird chibi style, but 3D kind of. We'll see. I don't know about this one.
Might be a little too out there.
Maybe a little bit out there. Aardman though they did like Wallace and Gromit. They did Chicken Run. Did Flushed Away. Shaun and the Sheep. Like they're responsible. They have a very distinct style of like
I'm
claymation
interested to see what they do. It should be pretty neat.
Yeah. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what they do with Star Wars. Another one is Triggerfish. Never heard of anything they've done. Don't know who they are, but they are an animation studio out of Africa, which is kind of neat, I guess. You know, I don't like. We'll see what they do. Another one we've got is Dart Stygio, which is the only kind of traditional anime thing they did. They animated the Weekend. A Weekend music video, Snow Child, I guess. They've done some stuff, but nothing I've really heard of, but fine. But Studio La Cache, they are responsible for animating Genndy Tartakovsky's Primal, which is fantastic.
I've heard that's really good. I've seen some images of that.
Yeah. So looking forward to that. Let's see what else. 88 Pictures is responsible for doing a lot of animation on Troll Hunters, which is a cartoon, kind of the same as Clone Wars, but like on Netflix. I really liked it. It's Guillermo del Toro. So their stuff, I'm looking forward to that one. And then that's pretty much it that I heard of. But there's a lot of stuff there.
Are they working with any? Are any of those returning from last season, or is it all new?
All new.
See, I like that, but at the same time, I really wanted a couple of those stories
you want a
to
sequel.
Continue.
You want a sequel to some of those stories, yeah.
So it's like I was looking forward to expanding on, especially the Ronin story. Maybe getting another like quick story from him, and then especially the nine. Was it the ninth Jedi?
Yeah,
something like that.
To be fair, I don't know if I said that. I don't know why I'm not being fair, but there were only like 9 studios listed, but there could be like 12 or 13 episodes. So there could be some returning shows.
That is maybe they wanted to spotlight the new ones.
Yes,
now.
I definitely think that's part of it. It could be that some of those other animations come back and they do sequels to like Ronin or the ninth Jedi or whatever. So that could still be a possibility, but I know a lot of people were turned off by anime in general. Like they just like it, they don't like it or whatever. Yeah. And this might be more of a draw to bring more people in.
Back. Yeah. It could. And I'm just disappointed still that like we have almost no merchandise from season 1. Like
Bandai did some stuff.
Like there's a couple things out there. There's there's a Ronin book that had people interested. But like we can't get a Black Series Ronin. I mean, I know it'd probably be deluxe, but
I'd buy it.
That dude was just make it black and white.
He was awesome. Yeah.
Like, that'd be and then that lady he fights with the umbrella lightsaber, like come on, I know that's a lot of engineering, but come on, I'll pay you $50. Just I need some merch. There's shirts, there's bond like statues and like Bondi statues and all that, like, but we just need more. We need
the only actual figures that you could buy are from my second least favorite episode of the twins. Yeah.
Yeah. I hated that episode. That episode was
hated it.
It's god awful. And for new listeners of the podcast, we've grown since our. Did we review that our like second episode ever?
Second episode. Second episode.
So you can go back and listen to our second episode ever, and then we talked about season 1. So go do that. And we both didn't like the twins, and of course that's the one that they made statues of.
Or figures, actual toys.
Yeah. So I just hopefully Hasbro like sees we want a Ronin. Like we just need a Ronin.
Yeah. Well, we only got one other thing on the list.
The Bad Batch.
The Bad Batch.
Please tell me you're caught up.
Oh, I'm caught up.
Okay, good. I want to talk about. Let's talk about last week's episode.
Sure.
The Indiana Jonesy.
Yeah.
You know, the treasure hunt. So, I gotta say this with the Bad Batch show overall. The individual episodes are good. Like last week's episode, it was a good episode of Star Wars television. It was like a little treasure hunt. But as soon as I heard it was a treasure hunt, and maybe it's my fault because I watched this right after when I got home from work and I was tired. But right when I knew it was about to be a treasure hunt, I was like, you got to be kidding me. Come on. Like another one of these kind of episodes. It was a fun individual episode, but at that point, there's just no like overarching thing that the main characters are doing. And I know like I understand not every episode can have like main plot advancement, but we're this many episodes in and like we don't know what the main characters are even trying. They don't have anything they're trying to accomplish.
No, they're just surviving and
they're just surviving and doing these missions.
Yeah.
And I understand it because they're like clones in this dark period, but we need to see them like, you know, face some of that adversity a little bit. And like, we don't have any insight into what their eventual goal is for the series or for the season or series as of yet. And then this last episode, with Gunji, however you pronounce, is it Gunji or Genji? Gunji. That was a fantastic episode. Like, I absolutely loved that episode. But I feel like we still don't know like what the Bad Batch is wanting to accomplish long or short term. It's just kind of another.
I agree. No, they're kind of just spinning their wheels. Like
I like the individual episodes, but there just doesn't seem to be like an overarching plot for this season, which is a little.
I liked the tech episode of, you know, like racing. Like, I thought that was fun.
Cool.
The racing was cool.
I liked it. Yeah.
And Indiana Jones, like the big robot thing, that was cool. That poor little robot that got destroyed.
He got dismantled.
Just absolutely destroyed. It looked like one of those big giraffe robots from Lost Horizon, or is it Lost Horizon? Final Forbidden West?
Forbidden
West. The PlayStation
West,
game? Yeah. Like those are big dinosaur robot things from there that look the same, but with a laser on it.
Yeah.
Like, you're right. You're absolutely right. There's nothing bad about it, but it just, you're like, is this leading towards something, or are they just doing stuff? Like, what's the goal here? Yeah. It was fun. Maybe we're starting into something because they didn't really resolve much in this last episode. You know, they found Gunji. They were doing something weird. They're programming fake IDs for some robots, I guess.
Yeah, they're at the point to where they're selling knockoff like chain codes to a crime syndicate that's trafficking people. Yeah. Are you kidding me right now? This is where the Bad Batch is at, and they're
it was really funny because they go, wait, are you guys bad guys?
Are you guys are we the bad guys?
Are you guys human trafficking? Because we have problems with that. You know, like okay, what do you think they were doing?
Yeah, but I loved the episode. And
it was cool seeing Gunji, but then you know they got him.
Gunji,
they got him to a Kashyyyk and they did the whole thing. But like, there's still more Imperials there. You know, like they didn't save Kashyyyk. You know, they're just kind of on Kashyyyk now. So I don't know if the next episode is going to further their adventures on Kashyyyk. Maybe they'll get the attention of the Imperials and they'll send Crosshair back into the fray.
Yeah, like I'm hoping like it leads to something. I don't want next week we got Sid. Like the worst thing is whenever like the show opens up, and I was so excited whenever the show opened up with a ship landing and they're about to do the mission. It's just the worst whenever they're sitting in the bar and Sid walks up and was like, I got a mission for you.
I got a mission for you. Mission of the week.
Like,
cool. Yeah.
It's like, it's fun, but it's just like, I'm ready.
I want to go somewhere.
I'm ready for it to be a little more serious, or I put a little more stakes on the table, you know.
We're like a good, that was episode 6. And I think there's like 20 episodes.
There's 16. I'm 16? Pretty sure.
So we're almost halfway done with
there's 10 left. There's 10 left. Yeah. I'm pretty sure anyways. Don't quote me. But like, it's just every episode it's like, can we like start pushing this along to like an overarching like plot? Because but the individual episodes are really good, and the Genji episode, like I need a Black Series Genji, like from the Bad Batch. Like I just need it. I want it real bad.
Love his little bandolier shoulder thing. Mm-hmm. Like I loved Genji. You know, a lot of people don't like that little youngling arc from season 5 where he appears, but I do. And I always have. Like I loved all those kids. I love Hondo was in that arc. Like there's not much for me not to like.
I've seen some of this like chat online. Do you struggle with the thought of a Wookiee Jedi?
No.
I've seen some people online are like a little weirded out that a Wookiee could be a Jedi. And at first, I was like, yeah, it is a little odd. I think of more of them like the dog sidekick, you know, because Chewbacca's always been the sidekick. But when you really think about it, Chewbacca has way advanced, like super advanced knowledge of like how to build like spaceships and how to repair spaceships. So they're like pretty advanced. It's pretty realistic that they could have just like with this one offspring, like a random that is like connected with the Force, and they know Jedi. They're friends with Yoda, so they're like, oh shit, this dude's like really strong in the Force. We gotta get Yoda and like send him to Yoda.
They have spaceships and stuff.
Yeah, so like I don't see why some people were like a little weirded out that there's like Wookiee
are people
Jedi.
assuming that Wookiees are like Ewoks where they don't have
I think
like,
they're thinking
technology?
they're a little more primitive than they are.
They're not. Yeah. That's just how they choose to live.
Pretty advanced,
They're advanced as fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
so. Yeah. But,
sorry.
Go ahead.
SH Figure Arts just dropped their Obi-Wan Kenobi from Obi-Wan.
Really? Do you have a link?
Yeah, it looks like the Jabeam.
Can you put it in the private chat?
Let's see here. I'll put it in chat.
James says, "Hey, just wanted to say thanks for the podcast, and it helps to stay excited about keeping collecting. Gotta go. Take care. Thanks for joining Patreon today. Thanks for hopping on the live stream. Thanks for hanging out,
for sure.
Hopefully, we'll see you in 2 weeks for our next episode. We'll be here live. And that goes for everybody who wants to be here live. You can join our Cantina Band member Patreon tier. Oh, my control pace isn't working. So what is this again? It's the SH Figure Arts Obi-Wan from Obi-Wan. My paste isn't working. I'm just going to type it in. Obi-Wan. I'm sure it'll pop up. News.
Here, hold on.
How good does it look?
Here.
Oh, there we go. Perfect. You can screen share it. I don't know how I feel about this. It doesn't look like the face.
I don't think it looks like Obi-Wan at all.
Yeah, like
I think it looks.
He's got a different color hair than he does his beard. What is going on here? This is what I've never really liked any like too
SH
much
figure
of the
arts.
SH figure art
Yeah.
stuff. Like some of them are really good, but a lot of them are like, I just don't want to pay that much money for like what you get. But that new Boba Fett with the throne is very tempting.
Yeah, I wanted to point it out because like I genuinely don't think this looks very good. I don't think it looks like Obi-Wan. I don't think it looks like Ewan McGregor.
Someone's saying, well, canceling Hasbro.
That's my buddy Mike actually.
Really? Like, are you
Yeah.
kidding me? This thing looks trash.
Yeah.
And you're going to spend $65 on it probably?
More than that.
More, yeah. So like, yikes.
So anyway, sorry,
They need photo reel. Jesus Christ.
They have photoreal. They invented it.
It doesn't look like it.
Yeah.
Like from that. Why does he has like the 90s like light blonde hair, but like a really dark beard for some reason. Like that did not look like Obi-Wan, like Ewan McGregor in the show at all. Personally. Yeah, that was not good. But hey, to each their own. You know, if people want to pre-order it, go ahead. I'm sticking with the Hasbro one because you can get it for $25 and it looks fairly okay. Like I'm not sure we've had any of the Obi-Wans that look really, really good face wise, but we'll just have to wait and see.
I agree.
Because we only have renders of that one currently.
Yeah.
Have we seen? We haven't
The
seen the
Jabim
physical
one
figure. Yeah.
I don't think we've seen the physical one.
So yeah, we got to wait and see on that one because I know the renders looked a little like the head looked really big. I think if I'm thinking about it right.
Oh, anyways, Bad Batch. It's fine. It's got nothing's been bad, but nothing. I don't feel like there's only been a couple great episodes. Like this one,
that crosshair episode was like, and the Cody,
the crosshair and Cody episode, easily the best. I think maybe the best of the whole show
series
so far. Yeah. The show's at its best when they're dealing with the dynamics, not just the Empire, but like the dynamics of their own squad, like finding out about themselves, like, dealing with Crosshair, who is one of them, but is choosing essentially to not be at this point. That's where I'm interested in. Cause like, how do you deal with that? Someone you fought beside the whole time, consider him a brother, but suddenly, he's joining the bad guys. Like that is interesting to me. So I want to know more about that. And I'm assuming we'll get to the point where we do find out more, but
they're definitely going to start. They have to start picking it up.
They have to start. Yeah.
Near the end, but
yeah,
it's just, we got to get there. We got to get there first. And like the show is best whenever like there's more, in my opinion, like their show is best whenever it's more focused on what the Empire is doing.
Yeah, for sure.
And then it cuts to the Bad Batch doing something, and they're kind of intertwined.
Yeah.
Because these Bad Batch missions are getting. I mean, they're fun, but it's getting a little stale every week. Like, not this most recent one with the Gunji, that was like top-notch mission, like, because you got a Jedi, you got a classic planet that we know about and care about, and we got Trans-Oceans versus Wookiees that we saw expanded on in Book of Boba Fett, how they have a rivalry with each other. Like that was cool to see. Like this was a great episode, but some of the other mission one, it's like after that one last week with the Indiana Jones, I was like, come on, we have to start getting some overarching like plot stuff because we just don't know what they're motivating, like what they're trying to even like. Do they think Crosshair is dead right now? Maybe. Yeah,
I don't know. Last time they saw him, he was on Camino, right?
Yeah, they just kind of they offered to take him, right, and then he like,
didn't
stayed.
Go. Yeah.
So they probably think he like died of hunger, which is kind of messed up, honestly, to not like take him like, here's some food. We know you don't want to come with us, so we brought you back some lunch, but who knows? I'm sure it'll start getting a little more intense. We know that Palpatine is coming eventually, so that's going to get really intense. From the trailer, that really cool trailer shot of him of his like eyes. It looked like he was in the Senate room or whatever, but yeah, I think I appreciate everybody listening to the podcast. Do you have any last minute thoughts you want to get about live stream, Bad Batch, anything?
No, I mean, I'm never mad at more Star Wars. It might not be the best thing, but it's never, in my opinion, a bad thing. I like Star Wars. And if it's something that doesn't appeal to me, guess what? There's a lot of it out there. And I can just go do something else that appeals to me.
And there's a lot on the way.
And there's a lot on the way. There's always going to be something new. So if you feel like you're hitting kind of a downer, just go find something you like to do for a while and enjoy that. Enjoy life.
We only got a month until Mandalorian.
That's it. We have
season 3.
We have
baby.
one more episode until we talk Mando. And on our next episode, we're having a little guest. Having a little special guest.
Exciting times.
A little special guest who's been on the podcast before. But I don't want to ruin it.
Yeah. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
If you want to support the show, if you enjoy the podcast and want to support us just a little bit, you can join our Patreon. We have a couple tiers. You can do $2, $5, $11.38. Anything helps. If you do the top tier, you can join us live. If you do $5 tier, we'll get you the video of the show. And then the $2 tier is just like a basic support tier. We really, really appreciate anything. If you want some merch, you can purchase it. I think you can go to my Instagram link and it's there. I think it's usually linked in the video or the show. But if you want a mug that says Black Series Cantina, you can get one. Or like, I would recommend the Rancor shirt, the RIP Rancor shirt, especially since we would be getting that now. Follow us on Twitter at TBS Cantina. I'd really like you to join the Facebook group. That's been growing pretty good. So the Facebook group is just called
Fun. Yeah, we have fun little chats and stuff.
Yeah, the people just post like their pickups, what they find in store, like just anything. We talk about it all on the Facebook group. It's called Black Series Cantina. You do have to request to join, but me and Mike are the admins, so we'll approve you. Just ask to join. We do try to keep it like pretty positive in there. Like you don't have to like be a shill or anything, but
no.
Like valid criticism is okay, but we don't want like man babies in there like just like complaining about like dumb stuff. So just be realistic and just don't be a crybaby, and then you'll be all right. Email us if you feel the need to, blackseriescantina@gmail.com. I think that's it. I'm looking forward to the next episode. Maybe we'll have a reveal or two, hopefully.
Hopefully, we'll see. We got 2 weeks.
We got 2 weeks. Let's hope something comes.
Cool. Well, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye.